All right, welcome to another edition of Riverside TV, and it's a special edition today. We're hitting the road to Menifee, California, here at a beautiful $5 million renovated stadium for MSJC's home football game against RCC.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though, this is going to be it could be either really good or it could be really bad. Let's talk about RCC first. RCC putting up 44 points per ball game. And this Mount San Jacinto team putting up only 15 points. And they've given up 29 points on the season. Let's see if this RCC team, who comes in 4-0, can take care of business here early. Mount San Jacinto comes in with a overall record of 0-4. But they've kind of had some struggling here in the early part going.
Yeah, for sure. 60-degree temperatures tonight. And overcast cloud. We had a storm system come through here a couple of hours ago, but we're all clear for kickoff tonight. MSJC dressed up in the dark with red numerals, RCC in the white. I'm Nick Rice. That's Jeff Gorm, our outstanding crew on the road at beautiful Menifee, California. We are underway. Kickoff right to left. And this one's deep but returnable at the 12. And typically Bryce Strong brings this one back, and he does here, run out of bounds near the 40. Riverside gets good field position with an offense that really didn't even need good field position. First down at about the 39, maybe 40-yard line.
I'd love to see Riverside really just attack the run, feel out this defense here early, see if they can spot some holes in that defensive front.
Riverside, as mentioned, 44 on 476 yards per game this year, also top 5 in the state. Bryce Strong gets the call in the first run of the game, and he is run out of on paper tonight, and this is a big ball game. If MSJC plays like they have this year, it could be a long night, but of course, as the extra point is good, MSJC is on the heels of consecutive conference titles, winning in 2021 and 2022. They have a coaching staff that's very experienced. You wonder if they could figure out a way to turn around this year.
Well, I'll tell you, it's going to be tough. I mean, with the Riverside last week had a tough win. They had a great, who was ranked higher than them in the national polls and the Dirty 30 poll, but they really took care of business. But Palomar really gave them a run for their money last week, only winning by 1 here.
Bryce Strong ran well late in that game last week and picks up right where he left off, his 7th rushing touchdown of the season. And Bryce Strong, who returns to Riverside. Not too often you see a guy after such a successful year return. That is a huge weapon for head coach Tom Kraft.
And this RCC defense has been stellar. I'm curious to see what they're going to do against this San Jacinto offensive front.
Veteran Gabe Panikowski for the Riverside kickoff.
James Cook is the defensive coordinator for RCC and has just gotten better every single season. And there's the great kick from our guy, Gabe.
Blackman with a great block. And they'll bring this one out to about the 31-yard line. An outstanding return. Marcellus Linton on the stop of number 22, Matthew Caldera. The Eagles quarterback going into today, Hayden Lara, a freshman from right here in Menifee, California at Heritage High School.
Played for the great Coach Broach at Heritage. They've had some great teams. They're kind of not as good this season. They've winless, but had 10 years in a row where they didn't lose a league game.
Elijah Simley, the freshman out of King High School in Riverside makes the grab, but MSJC, in the midst of a tough year, they go with a quarterback change. Sporting number 18 is Zach Zella from Temecula Valley High School. He's completing 51% of his throws with a touchdown and 3 interceptions. After his completion assembly, MSJC, a minute into the game, faces second and short. The quarterback will take off. He squirts through a hole and gets decked to the 46-yard line. Make it the 47. A first down run for the quarterback.
Riverside giving up a few yards here early.
First down, Eagles. Ball is resting at the 47-yard line.
A nice hit from Jacoba Fuamatu, the freshman for Riverside. Part of the struggles of an 0-4 campaign is their instability at the quarterback position as they give it off to the tailback, and he gains about 1.5 yards. They have 3 different quarterbacks to attempt at least 2 passes a game, and they have Zach Zella, who has had statistically a rough year, but they're switching off between him and Hayden Lara, and that might play into the struggles for this passing game this year.
Yeah, and it really could, make a difference here against Riverside, showing them a couple different looks. Maybe they were scouting just the one quarterback, but let's see if they go with rotation here.
Tigers go with a 3-man rush, a deep ball that sails outside of a leaping Christian Kretz. Immediate pressure supplied on just the 3-man rush for the Tigers.
And against El Camino, their blitz packages were really, really stellar in that big victory.
Riverside with one of the best pass rushing units in the state, led by Leo Tupou
of John W. North High School.
Right from North. In fact, usually RCC will snag a guy or two from the city of Riverside, but they have loaded up on North guys and King guys at RCC. We've played a few minutes. Riverside used only 2 plays to score their first points on a strong touchdown. 3rd and 8. The pressure's coming. The quarterback, Zach Zella, takes off. Hammered just short of the marker, but a great run from the quarterback. That's Jacoba Fuamatu, the freshman from Orange, with his 2nd tackle on the drive.
And they're going to elect to punt, it looks like.
RCC's a little late to bring in their special teams group 2. While there was a lot of confusion, it appears there's no flag down, and this punt sails inside of the 3. A great bounce, and it stopped to the 1/2 yard line. Textbook 49-yard punt. A late flag was thrown. If this is on the Tigers, that excellent punt might be wiped off anyways.
Yeah, I think this is going to go against the Tigers. This is going to be a first down for MSJC.
Which would be a shame for the stat book of punter Connor Meltzer. Maybe his best punt of the year could get negated by, and yes it is, an offsides on Riverside. Over the years in doing RCC games, it's felt Riverside is towards the top of the country in penalties. But this year they've done a much, much better job. They're one of the least penalized clubs in the state at the very least. That's only the 40th flag all year, but that's a big one.
Yeah, I want to talk about this. We've seen RCC the last few years, even when they won their national championship. Yep. The discipline wasn't always something you hoped for as a fan, but this year they've really tightened up the ship. Guys, I think it takes from Jordan Barton. I saw him talking to his teammates at a halftime. He's a very, very organized guy, and this RCC team is so disciplined. Like you mentioned,
Zell looks left, shoots it deep, and this time they connect on a deep ball to Christian Kretz, the sophomore, for a massive gain and the MSJC first down. And it's got to be very difficult as a coaching staff with the transition every year in junior college to have guys that assume the role, play disciplined football throughout the year.
Yeah, and a lot of times you get guys that are Division I tossbacks that, they come in with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder and feel like they have to still prove themselves. But Tom Kraft and Coach Cook really has this team dialed in and has been pretty much mistake-free.
Low snap, and that'll cost MSJC Asia Bolger with already his 4th sack in just 5 games this year, a loss of a yard.
Yeah, Bogart, man, he was all over the field in our last game we had against El Camino. He was the superstar defensively. We see it here again.
Number 97.
Just so quick to get inside. Reminds me a lot of Salu Hadin, who used to play for RCC.
Oh, that's a throwback. RCC is a laundry list of guys that have made it to Division I powerhouse college programs, and even a few guys currently playing in the NFL from Riverside College. An incredible and highly successful program. Zell on a deep drop sets up the screen pass. A good idea. Cholera slips through a hole and is in for the game-tying touchdown with a PAT. An outstanding design to beat the RCC blitz.
Coach Cook cannot be happy with the way they've started out on defense here. And San Jacinto, like you said, only scoring 15 points per ball game. Already halfway, almost there.
Yeah. Mason Krause for the extra point. A flag is down as that kick is good. Both teams score touchdowns on their opening drive. Let's see what this is all about. Our lead officials, Kyle Taco, umpire Troy Leonard, head linesman Andy Brewer, Corey McMiniman, Phil Rogers, Eric Stoffers, and John Gill round out our officiating crew tonight.
Yeah, they had an illegal substitution. I think there were 12 men actually on the field.
Riverside scored on 2 plays. MSJC used more than that. An outstanding march led by a quarterback who didn't play much going into tonight, Zach Zella, number 18. He did it, of course, with the big play we see right here, Christian Kretz on the left side, but he mixed in some runs, and it also helps that they got a illegal sub on a 4th down to keep the drive alive. And here is the running back, Matthew Caldera, to cap off an 80-yard touchdown drive.
Let's see if Noreen Espadron can get this football. Looks like he's going to let this one sail over his head.
And he is a name that I'm sure we'll talk about quite a bit tonight. He has had his fingerprints all over offense and special teams for the Tigers this year.
I'd love to see him. He's a great slot receiver. And just if somebody goes man-to-man against him, it is a mismatch. Let's look see if they go to Espadron here early.
RCC, one of the few junior college programs who do not rebuild. They just reload. Strong turns what could have been a loss into a 2-yard gain. This is almost, it sounds on its surface like just a cliche word. RCC may never have a coach this good again. I mean, the level of consistent success for this program is unmatched in college football.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can never match what they have done at RCC. You're never going to get another one like Tom Kraft unless you freeze his body after he's
not a bad
gone.
idea.
Yeah,
A
you
short
freeze
one
him
from Jordan Barton.
Yeah, so you can keep him. You'll bring him back about every 20 years. You put him on ice and then you reanimate him and you have Coach Kraft forever.
Not a bad idea. Barton off the play fake on 3rd and long, throws a comeback pattern. Outstanding throw, and he finds Demarion Young. I'm sure you've already looked into that, freezing and bringing back to Ricardo Chavez.
Ricardo Chavez is doing great playing at Idaho. He was the National Player of the Week, National Kicker of the Week 2 weeks ago.
4th and short. Here's the look at the tush push. We'll see if he has the legs of a Jalen Hurts to convert in a situation like this. And the official signal, 1st down, Riverside. Jordan Barton using his legs.
And that's the one thing Jordan Barton can do. I mean, if you're just joining us and you think maybe he's Reggie Retz or
Jake Retzlaff.
One of those Retzlaff brothers. He is not. He is so mobile, so quick, and gritty.
Strong is buried for a loss with the flag down in the area of holding. Mitch Aubrey was there for MSJC. Jake Retzlaff put up video game numbers last year, but Barton returns as quarterback this season, and his numbers have been very good.
Well, if you watch him, he's just such a heady player. Well, that's going to tag on 15.
6 foot, 185 pounds, Jordan Barton.
Played at Damien High School.
Inside handoff, Strong breaks through a hole. He's in the midst of a sensational first quarter. No flags down on that run. Just a 16-yard carry and another first down. And we're looking at a 100-yard first quarter for Strong at this rate, and he just ripped off a 50-yard touchdown to cap RCC's previous drive. First and 10 at the MSJC 37. Off the play fake to Strong, that pass is batted away. Outstanding job on the blitz from MSJC. Sophomore Tyler Martin knocks that one away.
I'm impressed so far with San Jacinto. They've come out ready to play.
And that's the funny thing when you read all the newspaper clippings and hear how good you are all week and how much better you are than an opposing team. You know, a la the game earlier today, USC and Colorado. The Trojans had a late scare in that game against the Buffaloes early today. A terrific catch from Barton outside to Davis. That's a first down.
And Barton has all the time in the world, as you can see. Thought about going for the run, says, nope, I see a guy open.
Not Davis, that's Jaquiz Modica out of Smackover, Arkansas.
And the last game we covered, they had 11 different receivers catch the football and 5 different players score for the Tigers.
Along with a host of running backs involved in that game, a win over El Camino a couple of weeks ago. First carry for Ian
Bankole.
Bankole
has been phenomenal. It's been the 1-2 punch of Bankole and Strong.
RCC last year made it to the state championship game, even though they were one of the worst running offenses in the state by yards per carry and yards per game. But this year they have a two-headed monster, which is running well. RCC 23rd in California in rushing this season, led by the excellence of Strong and Bankole. 10 touchdown runs between the two. Bankole flanks the running back after the RCC penalty. Their third of the quarter. Bankole heads right and gets decked at the line. The Eagles' Greg Jackson out of New Orleans joins James Skierce on the stop.
Let's see if the San Jacinto defense is going to go man-to-man here on the receivers.
They'll line up in the nickel package and bring the heat to the quarterback. Barton throws a deep slant and finds his man. A catch to Ernest McDaniel, who gets the penalty yardage back and then some. RCC, third in California and third down offense. They missed their last one, but did convert on the fourth and short. Here they need 8.
Yeah, the mismatch, if you're going to play him man-to-man, they're going to pick him apart all night long here.
And they'll line up again in that nickel package, but the Eagles threaten blitz. Midway through the opening quarter, Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham, third down in the red zone for Riverside. Number 2 Riverside in the state of California. Barton fires into the end zone. McDaniel in traffic. He's got it. Touchdown, Tigers.
And that's what you got to do. You got to take advantage of those receivers in that man-to-man coverage. And Barton, with all the time in the world, a lot like any quarterback we've seen at Alabama the last, for 20 years, they can stand back there all day and pick apart that defense. Great play call by Coach Kraft.
Jordan Barton.
Great execution by Barton.
Outstanding throw. The extra point is good. 29th career touchdown pass for Jordan Barton, a league-high 13th this year. Ernest McDaniel capped off the drive, but it began with Bryce Strong. It ended with Ayin Bankole. They went to everybody in the midst of that outstanding 9-play series. They even converted the 4th down right here from Jordan Barton. The quarterback looked very poised. Bryce Strong had a key run, too. I mean, they just mixed all sorts of plays up, and right now RCC is 2 for 2 scoring touchdowns.
Well, if you're RCC, you're going to have to button up this defense here.
The man who caught, there's Tom Kraft, by the way, 15 years in at Riverside. He has won 86.7% of his games. That is incredible. Take my word for it. You can't even copy that in Madden or in all the other stuff they're playing nowadays.
Do you play all those? Do you play video games? Are you a video game guy?
Sure do. It's incredible stuff.
You probably don't play sports games. You probably play those games where they shoot them up. You play those? Is that what you play?
No, I like playing the golf games that you swipe on your phone. Those are the stuff.
That's what I do.
That's the stuff that's just so much fun. And that kick is muffed off of the hands of Malik Blackman of MSJC. In a game like this, RCC, they couldn't afford a turnover against this high-powered team, and that's exactly what they did.
And they're lucky they didn't take that right to the house. It was a perfect bounce for somebody to pick it up and run, but as we see on the replay, great effort by RCC to jump on this football. Watch.
Oh, just sailed right past the Tiger. Tough break for Blackman. It was a terrific kick. He just couldn't field it.
And it was a goofy bounce. Watch, he touches it with his fingertip, but it bounces forward. That's a live ball.
And what has been a nightmare start to the 2023 campaign for MSJC, the one thing they do better than almost anybody is avoid the turnover. But ironically, that's exactly what happened to begin tonight's game. Barton looks right and throws a screen pass which bounces right into the hands of the Tigers' Jaquiz Modica. And he gains a couple on that first down throw.
Now Espadron is in on this package. Let's see if he's going to get some looks here. He's one of those guys you want to try to get in open space and in the flat, or he runs a great slant pattern, especially with San Jacinto here playing man-to-man. Look at number 5, Espadron here.
Well, they have all sorts of weapons. We just saw McDaniel haul in a couple of huge catches, including the touchdown on that last drive. He'll line up in the slot here, but they'll go ground. And this Ayin Bankole is his 3rd carry of the quarter, and he runs out about a yard short of the marker. Under 5 left, RCC here in the first quarter is trying to punch it in with their 3rd straight touchdown drive. They've gone 2 for 2 so far.
And what a nice stadium here. Like you said, it cost $5 million.
Now, according to MSJC.com, this is just called the stadium.
Well, it is pretty darn nice. And it's really cool that they're bringing their sports programs out here to Menifee. They built a brand new baseball stadium as well. We see just beyond the visiting Tiger bleachers.
Ayin Bankole picks up 4 in the first down. According to reports, $5 million is what it cost for this brand new facility.
And the word is they're going to bring all their sports over here, so they'll have basketball, baseball, softball, and all the other major sports.
Toss to Bankole, who dives in for the touchdown. Well, RCC's making themselves feel right at home in tonight's game at the stadium in Menifee. 3 straight touchdown drives, and that was an easy one off of the muffed kickoff from Blackman.
And my guy, Gabe Panikowski, I'll tell you what, watch, he's already kicked the ball out of the stadium twice. There's a guy standing right behind the scoreboard out there in the dirt. Watch. And he's just see if he makes the catch. Oh, he didn't make the catch.
Man. Well, he made it off the bounce. Maybe that was design. What's up with Tom Kraft and Riverside and acquiring so many great kickers?
I don't know, but maybe it's because they get a lot of love on the Riverside TV broadcasts.
Maybe that's it, yeah. And, maybe Panikowski, who sounds eerily similar to Janikowski, one of the best kickers of all time, maybe, he was involved on that muffed kickoff. Maybe he spun the ball just right where it was recovered by Riverside. Let's see if he can pull something like that off again.
We know kickers are my favorite. And Gabe Panikowski. I already have a Chavez tattoo on my back. Now I'm going to have to get a Panikowski. But that's too many letters. That'll hurt in my tattoo.
Kickoff out of bounds. Yeah, you're running out of room. You just.
If I'm putting all these kickers' names all over my back, I go to Vegas and they go, "Hey, who's Chavez? Who's Panikowski?"
You don't know who Chavez and Panikowski are?
I go, "Hey, those are my favorite players."
Right.
People get tattoos of like the Raiders or the Rams.
Right.
I get a picture of a leg, and I have the kickers sign it. So it's great to see Coach Kraft bring in great kickers every single year, and they've really been beneficial. They've helped and won some big games in the past for him.
Right. These coaches go into these, mom and dad's living room and say, "Hey, we win."
And kickers are people too.
Absolutely. In fact, there was a throwback a few years ago to a John Garibay who was actually getting tried out by a couple of NFL teams. So it's ironic on a program with so much winning, so many great players, I'd say the best position they've ever had is kickers. They just always reload at that position.
Well, remember they had Frank Corral, who was
Frank Corral too.
Frank Corral was a Tiger, so was his brother Eddie.
Incredible kicking at Riverside. That pass is incomplete, setting up MSJC with a third down and long. We saw the Eagle quarterback, Zach Zella, guide a touchdown drive earlier in the game, and overall he's been pretty steady at the quarterback spot early. We'll see what he can put together on a 3rd down and 12. They need the 45-yard line of MSJC to avoid a 3-and-out. Zella against the blitz. He throws it quickly, and he missed another open receiver. That would have been a tough catch for Elijah Assembly, but he just missed him.
And that's the problem you're going to see today all day long with this San Jacinto offense. Will he have enough time to throw the football? And with the defense showing blitz in that pocket closing in quickly, he's got to get rid of it fast. He's not going to be able to go down the field too deep.
Nearly sacked there. Has already been sacked twice in this first quarter as that punt sails out of bounds. 3:16 left in the first quarter. This one with Riverside in front, 21-7. The Tigers offense came in 4th in the state in scoring, 2nd in the state in first downs. An incredible offense. It seems they have weapons galore. And, what's interesting is I'd say this is their best quarter we've seen in a while. They just look like as good as they've ever been this year.
Well, you said 4th in scoring? Who's outscoring them? They're putting up 44 a game.
Somehow. Draw to Strong, who sweeps to his left and is smothered at about the 41-yard line on a cloud of dust. They'll mark him down after the gain of 2. And I think maybe the funny thing is RCC could be taking their foot off the gas late in these games.
But that's another good thing about this Tom Kraft Tiger team this year is they're so deep. So when you bring in your reserves, you're not going to miss much, and you're not going to tell those guys don't play hard. That's why they're so darn good this season.
Barton's looking deep, dances away from the pressure, and is pulled down at about the line of scrimmage. The Eagles rob Williams already with a sack this year. A tackle at the line. They may not give him the sack, but an excellent job in pass rush by Williams and that Eagles defensive front.
I will say this, Barton missed a couple of his progressions. There were 2 guys wide open, but he did have some pressure there.
We'll see if they can make up for it on a third down and long. Barton's looking deep, launches into coverage, yet somehow he makes a leaping catch. Jaquiz Modica, a big first quarter for the veteran Modica, and that's the first down.
Boy, what a great catch. If he had come down in stride, he would have been unscathed and untouched.
At the 33-yard line.
There's a look at number 10, Jaquiz Modica out of Smackover, Arkansas. Have you ever been to Smackover?
I've never been to Smackover.
All right. Pretty good football players come from that city. Here's Strong, who spins away from the defense. He is so slippery inside and is wrapped up at the 26-yard line. They had him stopped to the line, and Strong still squirts out of there.
What do they call it? Yak. Yards after contact.
What do they call him? Strong? My goodness. Took half the team to bring him down on the gain of 6. Late in the first quarter, we've got about a minute to play. 21-7 Riverside. Barton with plenty of time. Look at this pass protection, and that throws incomplete. An anticlimactic end to that play.
Yeah, and good defense there by San Jacinto on that man coverage.
Calvin Ampudia, Jaden Verboten, Napai, Kalamafoni, Tuiasosopo, the big guys up front providing the pass protection. Christian Perry as well on that offensive line. Sensational job from the big guys up front. Seaman Maeva wrapping up that offensive line. 3rd down and 4 yards to go. RCC has converted 1 of 2 so far on 3rd downs tonight. They need the 23. Barton on a 3-step drop throws a jump ball into the back shoulder of his receiver, and that's reeled in on the sideline. That is some catch. Demarion Young out of Centennial High School with the grab. That's 1st and goal.
You watch. It was dialed in from quarterback to receiver. You knew exactly where it was going. That ball was perfectly thrown.
Now, this crowd is a little uneasy, and I got to say, that was a very close play. We saw on the replay, his foot was sitting right around that sideline. First and goal with Strong in the backfield. He's in the block, a fade into the end zone. Young, he put a foot down, but it was just a bit out. Good coverage from veteran Karsten Memorial. Incomplete.
And you gotta like that. Coach Kraft tries to reward the guys that are doing well on this drive. Goes right back at them.
It shows you just how deep this Riverside receiving corps is. We have yet to hear of Kajia Holloway and Norian Espadron, 2 of the bigger-known receivers for RCC this year. It's a embarrassment of riches at the receiver position, and I'm sure for guys 5, 6, 7, 8 on the depth chart, you got to appreciate a guy like Tom Kraft getting literally everybody on the team involved at wide receiver. Strong on the carry. A cloud of dust at the 1-yard line, and he's whistled down short of the end zone. Late flag is down with extracurriculars. And we'll get the call on this in just a moment. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham on hand. Last night was a doozy. Arlington, La Sierra.
I've never seen a football game quite as horrible as that one. I'm not going to lie and tell you it was a great game. It was terrible. It was called in the 3rd quarter. That tells you how bad it was.
Yeah,
it was a fight that got kind of cleared out, and both teams decided to call the game in the end of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, that reminded me of the insane. I've never seen like a bench-clearing incident in a high school football game.
And what they said was if they would have played the 4th quarter, they were going to have to suspend half of each team for next game.
Now,
so they wouldn't have had enough players to play next week. So they would have had to. Both teams would have had to forfeit.
Number 33. Punch and a kick was thrown. Therefore, that player has been ejected from the rest of the game.
The Eagles' James Skiersey, who's actually played pretty well in this first quarter is ejected. Now, let's first check out this play. There's the kick
And there's
towards
a hit.
the right of your screen.
There's a punch
Yeah.
and there's a kick. So they have both.
Now, that's a guy that just lost his cool. It is a physical football game. That's junior college football. It is a very passionate game. And for Scarcey, he just kind of lost his composure.
Yeah, and that gives them a first down. It says the yard marker on the sideline is a third down, but it's a 1st and 10.
Right.
About the 1 foot line.
Official sorting this one out. RCC is trying to cap off their 4th straight drive with a touchdown. An incredible start to this one. Bryce Strong has run for nearly 100 yards at running back. Certainly Jordan Barton has done his fair share. He ran in a quarterback sneak on a 4th and short earlier in the quarter. He lunges in, no signal yet. Sensational second effort. It's a touchdown for Riverside, their 4th straight scoring drive. Well, you brought it up to me, the scrambling and running ability of this quarterback, and he's lived up to the billing early.
Well, if we're looking at what Riverside City College is on pace for right now, I might say that would be a close to a school record if they can.
Riverside, yes, on pace for 112 points in today's game.
Hey, we saw the guy. He missed. He dropped it again, though.
Oh, boy.
Oh, see, that was a
Well,
good throw. Got it over the fence.
Yeah. Well, the guy catching those PATs, I got a feeling that's not his last PAT catch. Here's a look at that Riverside drive. Of course, ended with the Jordan Barton touchdown, but they mix it up, run and pass throughout. This was some throw to a leaping Jaquiz Medica to set him up near the red zone. But the best catch on the drive was following this strong run. Check out the beauty to set him up into a goal to go. We'll have that in just a moment. Here's Strong on that run. And then this one on the outside to Demarion Young from Centennial High School. I'm sure Matt Logan taught that one a time or two at Corona. And then there's the Barton touchdown. Capped off another long drive for Riverside. Maybe their best first quarter of offense we've seen in a game all year. It's certainly been a while since we've seen a team move the ball at such ease. Reeled in at the goal line for the Eagles. A good return from Matthew Caldera to about the 28-yard line. Now, if you don't mind, clear up for me why they would let Arlington and La Sierra play the fourth quarter of the game and then get suspended in the first half of the following game. Is that how it works?
Well, no, they would get suspended the entire game because it was they left the field.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
when you leave your sideline to get on the field, that is an automatic one-game suspension. So when La Sierra and Arlington were in their melee, everybody left the benches. So in order to, they just said, we're going to cancel the game now. We're not going to file any ejections, so the kids will be eligible to play, but they had to forfeit that, or not forfeit, but lose the game at 7-0.
Penny Masiva, the sophomore, wraps up the runner for a loss. That'll end the first quarter. I'd say a good decision from the Arlington and La Sierra coaches to make that move. And best of luck for them the rest of the year. And Gazal brought it up in the Jeff rally.
The Jeff rally last night. Yes.
About just how unfortunate that is for La Sierra, considering the fact that they were denied at the 1-inch line earlier in the game, and then you had that scenario play out. You had to think we were right there to win the game, and then we have it called on guys just losing their composure.
Yeah, it was their 25th straight loss in the league for La Sierra.
Wow.
So a tough one for them to swallow. And they're going to be a little better. I think next week their quarterback was his first game back after sitting out 5 games, and their star receiver, C.J. Fleming, will be in uniform next week. So we'll see how La Sierra will do. They do end up playing Norte Vista, which doesn't bode well for them.
Of course.
I'm going to have to. I would venture to say, I think Norte Vista will go 2-0.
And you are that much closer to a roast beef sub. We got a bet going, Ramona or Norte Vista. You guys brought it up too last night. I'd say it's not a bad thing to bring up. The five-way River Valley League tie a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening. In fact, I think I'm going to get a sandwich because Ramona lost last night.
Now, can I rescind my bet?
No.
Is that possible?
You can go double or nothing, and we
double
can figure
or
out
nothing.
something. You can or give me two sandwiches if we want to do another bet.
All right, Jeff Gorham's drunk with power. Okay. Speaking of our side sandwich bets going on, this week we have an entertaining week in Riverside TV. What's going on this week?
I don't know what's going on. I'm going to tell you. We've done 5 events in the last 3 days, 4 of which I've been a part of. And I couldn't tell you what's going to happen tomorrow, but I'm sure we have a great slate of games.
Do you even know what day it is today,
No,
Jeff Gorham?
it's 1985.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Well, we're certainly glad to bring you as much coverage as we can across Riverside and shoot across the IE as we now trudge into Menifee, California. A beautiful suburb right around here in off the 215, about 25 miles south of Riverside.
And you know who lives in Menifee?
You know, I don't hear any cool people live around here, to be quite honest.
I rode my 10-speed bike over here to the game. I locked it up and walked over.
I don't know if this is still true, but Terrell Davis, the former Bronco great, did live in right around here.
I took classes with him once.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Oh, that is a tough break. Elijah Simley would still be running if that pass was a little lower. For Zach Zella and MSJC, they've had opportunities to beat the defense. They just have not been able to capitalize.
Yeah, Terrell Davis and I took classes together at Cal Baptist.
Interesting.
Yeah, we were study buddies.
Terrell Davis, so
he coached football out here for a little bit.
Interesting. It is some punt. Fair catch signaled and made at the 43-yard line. Sensational Connor Meltzer punt. He got all of the leg on that one. RCC will begin their next drive, 5th of the game, at their own 43.
So are they 4 for 4? They have yet to punt, haven't they?
Yet to punt. They converted 1 4th down and a couple of 3rd downs. This has been a sensational start to the game. RCC, as mentioned, top 5 in nearly every offensive category this year. This you have hinted at it throughout the year that RCC in so many state title years has looked really good, but this team might be even better. Well, so far, they look like one of the best teams we've seen in a while. Ayin Bankole joins the backfield. Barton on a deep drop. Throws to an open Jesse Campbell. And the sophomore from San Diego picks up 14 and a Riverside first down. Quentin Evans on the coverage for MSJC. It is interesting, RCC runs a quick huddle despite a 21-point lead. Barton takes a shot towards the end zone. A lot of contact out there. And a flag is thrown in the area of holding.
And that's going to be a PI here. That's going to...
Karsten Memorial, number 20, was draped on Jesse Campbell of Riverside.
Yeah, he got that shoulder and pulled him down. That was a catchable ball if he's not... That's going to move him up quite a bit.
For those of you just joining us, MSJC scored on their first drive of the game. The Eagles also forced RCC into a 4th down. They looked competitive early, and then Riverside flips a switch, and when they do that, they're as good as anybody. Bankole gets crushed by a blitzing Jaden Dillon at the line. Riverside in the midst of an outstanding start, 4 drives, 4 touchdowns.
And if you're Riverside, you can't be complacent. You got to play smart football or guys are going to get hurt.
Second down and 9 yards to go. Barton looks right all the way and throws a slant, which is off of the hands of his receiver, Kalasia Holloway, and is intercepted. Just his 3rd pick thrown of the season, and that was an unforced error for RCC.
Wow. A rare mistake there for Barton.
It certainly couldn't have been a worse throw than that. And Karsten Memorial, the sophomore's 2nd interception of the year, gives MSJC the ball late in the first half.
Yeah, that was definitely a catchable ball.
RCC as a team commits just its 6th turnover of the year. A frustrating end to that promising drive. 28-7 Riverside. Out of the gun, Verrill looks downfield, takes another shot. Simley can't track the ball. Maybe a bigger throw inside would have helped. But yet again, MSJC is beating the secondary deep.
Yeah, they definitely are trying to throw the top off the football here. They've gone deep a few times. That ball just a bit overthrown.
Elijah Simley, excellent receiver from King High School. In fact, King is just about underway in their Saturday night football game against Great Oak. We'll give you score updates throughout King and Pauley High School. RCC blitzing, and the runner Matthew Caldera turns what could have been a loss into the gain of 2. RCC comes into tonight ranked 2nd in California in the CCCAA rankings. San Mateo is number 1. San Francisco rounds out the top 3. Mount Sac and Fullerton right behind them too, and they're going to play all those guys later this year. They have a tough schedule, but tonight, unranked Palomar or MSJC up 21 on the Eagles.
Now, the Eagles they've played Fullerton, I believe. I think last week, was it?
Yep.
Going 44-20 or something?
44-20. Screen to Matthew Caldera. He has plenty of room. A gain of 20 on the catch. RCC brought the blitz, and they pay the price.
Well, the defense today so far for RCC has not been up to snuff as what we've seen. They've been able to throw the football and take care of some yardage against this defense. Coach Cook's going to have to make some adjustments, I'm sure, at halftime with his guys.
Yeah, as mentioned, Simley's been open deep a few times on this secondary. RCC gave up 512 yards to Palomar last week. That was a big reason why the Comets were leading by 13 points with 9 minutes left in that game. RCC avoided a brutal loss with a big comeback from Barton and the offense. A good job there. RCC brought the blitz, and they get there for the sack. Oh, McAfee there for the Tigers.
I think they wanted a penalty to San Jacinto, but the Tiger just kind of jumped over, avoided the hit late. Nice stadium, though. When they scored the touchdown, I don't know if you noticed, they had all this light stuff going on.
Right.
It was like a disco.
When, the MSJC touchdown.
When they scored. Yeah, not when RCC did, but it was the one they did score was kind of cool.
Early movement up front on MSJC. Number 69, Logan Burgess. Looks like that'll go on the Eagles, but the officials are talking this one through.
Look at on the telestrator we have there that showed. So it went against RCC, huh?
Interesting.
Encroachment. Defense number 53. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Now, it is difficult put together the funding for a stadium like this. It is an incredible facility, and they're going to bring in a lot of teams here to the stadium in Menifee. In the junior college ranks, this is absolutely one of the best.
False start. Offense, number 22. 5-yard penalty.
Now all they need is a printer for some brochures for everyone
Yeah.
here at the stadium.
Yeah,
Everything else is great.
We had no programs today. I was hoping to read more about this lovely stadium,
Right.
stadium.
The stadium.
Look, we got our
Oh,
telestrator
we got
there.
John Madden orchestrating the
the czar of the
there.
telestrator.
Yeah, that's right. First down at the 40-yard line. MSJC, 10:03 left in the half, down 28-7. Simley on a screen. If you can't connect them deep, might as well get them involved in the screen game. That's a pickup of 5. Number 5, the Tigers' Leo Tupou with the tackle. He has been everywhere this year for Riverside. He ranks top 3 in the conference in tackles, tackles for loss, sacks, and leads it with 3 fumble recoveries.
And longest hair on the team.
Oh, believe it or not, there's another one. And that is not a small linebacker, to say the least. Leo Tupou, sophomore from J.W. North High School. Third and 9. Tigers bring 3, and Zella looks deep to Simley again. That has been the story of the ball game. Zach Zella, you got to commend his confidence to keep testing the deep ball, but it's not working. Now, MSJC is clamoring for a holding penalty. Did you see enough?
I saw nothing. Honest to goodness, he had the time to throw the football. I'm not too sure there was any play, any nefarious acts by the Tiger defense.
Tigers bring the heat, but Connor Meltzer gets rid of this punt cleanly. And this is a good bounce for MSJC.
one.
In fact, they've downed it at the 1-yard line. A terrific coffin corner. Last Meltzer punt was waved off by a penalty. Not this time. 48 yards on the boot from the sophomore.
Boy, he is great. Great punter so far, twice on basically the 1-foot line.
So Meltzer has 28 punts this year. 12 of them have landed inside of the 20. This is some kicker. We knew Gabe Panikowski would show up ready to play tonight, but Connor Meltzer has been as good as anybody in the kicking game on this field. From Rancho Cucamonga, California. Riverside better be careful. Eagles bring the blitz, and Strong spins away from 3 Eagles tackles. Some player this guy is. Finally wrapped up by Tyler Martin.
And Strong has gotten so much better since last season. I mean, he has progressed. And talking with Coach Kraft, Gonzalez had a nice discussion with him and said, hey, he has done more in the offseason and has gotten better and better.
That is incredible. He earned first-team all-conference honors last year for his excellence running the ball.
And remember,
He's playing even better.
They have Bo Bruins waiting in the wings for next season.
Yes, they
He's
do.
a gray shirt this season.
As Bo Bruins accounted and checked the numbers, 100,000 rushing yards Bo Bruins did in his Ramona career.
Well, he will be in uniform. In fact, he's been practicing with the team this season, so hope to see him soon, as Strong nearly slipped and fell into the end zone there. That would have been a safety.
RCC pin deep courtesy of an outstanding Connor Meltzer punt. They'll face a 3rd down after this timeout. Tom Kraft, not only the head coach, but also calls a lot of the offensive plays. But Ignacio Perez, who's been around for a while, runs the running back room. And I'm sure he taught a thing or two to Bryce Strong. This is some run here.
Look at him slipping around.
And still keeps his feet.
I'm just surprised Riverside hasn't put up more points here in the second quarter.
So for those of you wondering for Riverside, man, this is a good football team, but how good are they? So Tom Kraft has been around 15 years with the program. They've made the playoffs 14 out of 15 years. They only missed one. That was in 2012, and I'd say there was a little bit of anti-Riverside bias maybe or something like that. They let a 6-win Saddleback team go in over an 8-win Riverside team.
Wow.
In the wild card. Now I still don't understand the logic behind that, but that's the one playoff they missed.
And you talk about players that they've put into major Division I schools. Think about this. They have 285 transfers in 11 seasons.
Wow.
That have gone on.
285.
That's been 70% have gone and played Division I football. That's a pretty incredible stat there.
That is just incredible. 3rd down and 8 from deep in his end zone. Barton takes a shot downfield and a slightly lower pass, and that is a catch and a big run, too, from Jesse Campbell. Riverside, for the first time today, brings in the punt team. Maybe it's the new conditions. There's also a bit of wind in the stadium, but it seems both quarterbacks just cannot seem to connect on those deep balls.
Yeah, it hasn't been fruitful for either one of them, to say the least. Gabe.
Nathaniel Wallace Dilling with the punt reeled in at the 46-yard line. He runs into his own man. This is the Eagles' Christian Krentz outside. And he is shoved out of bounds at the 24. 7.5 minutes left in the second quarter of a game where Riverside had full control in. Then we saw the Jordan Barton interception, and now MSJC has a chance to get right back into the game.
Yeah, they can cut this deficit in half if they can score in this drive.
MSJC's just hanging in. The Eagles have played 3 top 12 programs in California coming into tonight, and they have been relatively competitive in a couple of them. A strong run here on first down. It's a gain of 7 on the ground. The carry from number 22, Matthew Caldera. They played number 3 Mount Sac and held them to 23 points, one of their lowest totals of the year. Lost by 9 to the number 12 Citrus Owls, and they played Fullerton tough in the second half. They're ranked 6th in California. So they've lost every one of those games, but have at least been competitive in a few. Zella pulls in the low snap, immediately under pressure. He somehow throws it, and it's caught at the 4-yard line. That's the lunging Koa Apana. It's 1st and goal.
Yeah, that's just a breakdown defensively for RCC there. A lot of time for that young man to stand in the pocket and throw the football here. I kind of want to see him score again just so I can see the light show. I feel like I'm at a 1980s skating party.
Well, it got a little bit harder on that play. Brought down by Isaiah Bogar, the freshman who's having himself a terrific season.
That another sack today? Or that wasn't a sack, that was a handoff. I was thinking, he is so fast.
Yeah, he's almost taking the handoff from these guys. Here's a look at that play again. Number 97, Isaiah Bogar, the freshman. Great job breaking right in there. In fact, it might have been better if they blocked him on that play. He jumped right through everybody. Against the blitz, Ella throws a jump ball into the corner. Simley got a hand on it, but the pass falls incomplete. Well, they sure do love Elijah Simley, number 7. He's been at the focal point of this offense. MSJC has really struggled in the red zone this year, converting just 6 of 9 of their tries into points. Only 4 of 9 into touchdowns so far this year.
That's going to be a false start.
And this will get a little bit harder.
False start. Offense, number 58. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
RCC began the game with 4 straight touchdown drives. But MSJC has crawled back into the game. The brilliant punt from Connor Meltzer basically squandered a lot of the play calling from RCC on that last drive, and that wound up flipping the field for the Eagles. And they'll try and take advantage of the short field. It's third down from the 13. Under 6 to play in a back-and-forth first half. Zeller looks long again, pumps. He tucks to his right and is dumped. Taken down by Jawan Nixon, the sophomore's first sack of the season.
The Tigers were in danger of getting scored on. They got it down to the 4-yard line. They pushed it back because of a couple penalties. Now San Jacinto's going to have to settle for 3 if they can get this field goal.
And their freshman kicker, Mason Krause, has yet to make a field goal this year. He has missed his first 2 of the season. A good hold. It's a line drive kick from Krause, and he's got it. He missed some of the short stuff, but buries the long stuff.
I'm concerned about the guy that was catching footballs outside the fence. It's dark out there. There's probably rattlesnakes.
Wolves are also around here.
They had a mountain lion off of Bradley 2 weeks ago.
Really? Did you do anything about it?
No, I saw it on TV. I saw it was running down the street. I was going to go over and pet it, see if they purr.
Don't worry, Ricardo Chavez mauled him down and took care of that.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
keeping the city safe.
Yeah, they had a mountain lion.
Man, that's. There was a grizzly bear too around here like a year ago. I saw that on the news. It's just crazy. It's the wild out here in Menifee.
It is.
What's going on here?
Well, I have a zoo in the palatial Gorham estate. And I'm sorry that my animals have been getting out lately.
Oh. Who are we kidding? You got a couple of cats, don't you?
I do. I have 2 cats and a big German Shepherd. There he is, Espadron.
It's been a while since we've seen him tote the football. He heads right and is wrapped up at the 37-yard line. Number 37, Chase Shackelford, another King High School product, with the special team stop.
It is cool to see these 2 teams play, though, in such a nice new stadium. A lot of local talent from the Riverside area. So,
yeah, let's give some love to Elijah Simley of MSJC from King High School. Miran Hazem out of Notre Vista. And I also saw this on here.
Wait a second. Maron?
Monron.
Wait, let me see.
Myron, number 21.
It's Maron. Come on, man. I taught, he was one of my students.
Oh, was he?
Maron Hazin.
All right. Well, I got another fun one here, too. A gain of 4 from Bancole, the sophomore. There is also a couple of guys from Green Bay, Rashid and Ali Baja Biamila. That last name is pretty familiar.
How's that familiar?
Akbar Biamila played for the Chargers.
Are they buddies?
For a while.
Are they brothers?
They have to be. I'm sure they are.
I know Admiral Akbar.
Admiral?
You don't know who Admiral Akbar is?
Yeah, I do.
Who is he?
I don't know.
How are you the worst pop culture human being in the world?
Worst, I tell you. Just the worst.
Come on, you're not even a Star Wars fan?
You guys, no, not really. That stuff just, doesn't really interest me. I mean, just every time I'm on Riverside TV, if you guys need a laugh on a Saturday night, someone who just literally is just oblivious.
Did you watch The Waterboy? Yeah.
I did. Bobby Boucher, the lisp got me, and just It was obnoxious. Okay, that's what it was.
But now you know.
right.
You go to John W.
And I'm
North
like,
High School.
watching Hustle, I was like, is this the same Adam Sandler?
Oh, and that's going to be another PI.
And these fans are growing anxious. It feels it's one way, according to them. Karsten Mamoro flagged again. But I was just so baffled about, the same Adam Sandler on Waterboy was doing Hustle and these other serious films.
I don't watch serious Adam Sandler films.
I was like, who is that? And he'll sprinkle in comedy in those too.
Yeah, there was a shove there. That's actually a good call. We saw our guy, the athletic director at RCC, Cliff Docterman, went over and grabbed the football.
Oh, did he?
I thought he was going to run out on the field.
Well, they could use a receiver. No, they can't use. They're good on receiver.
I don't think Cliff can run a route. I like Cliff.
Well, he could run a route. It just might not be at 4.2 speed.
It might be at 8, 9, 12.5 from the 40.
Oh my goodness, man! Still faster than you on the bum hip every now and then, huh?
Yeah.
When Cole dropped by Jaden Dillon across the line. But you've been through your fair share of battles. Those hips have seen some things.
These hips, these knees, these ankles. I'm just a bag of broken bones.
My goodness. RCC will try and be the last team to touch the football as Boncole crawls ahead for the gain of 4. Under 3 left in the first half. For those of you just joining us, Riverside has been in the lead for just about the entirety of the game. And the player of the first quarter had to have been Bryce Strong, but he has rarely seen the field in the second quarter with Ian Boncole in. And that's got to be pretty difficult for guys, to leave the game in the midst of a hot first quarter. That's just how deep they are. Barton's pass is tipped and nearly picked off again by Kamari Ross. And it takes a lot of buy-in. I'm sure these athletes know, if I'm going to Riverside, I'm probably only going to touch the ball half or a third as the amount of times as if I went to another school.
And I think they're going to go with they're going to go for it here on 4th down.
No.
I remember Shane Shano will get the ball here in the second half.
They'll go hard count here. RCC made their last 4th down try and are at 50% on the year. More like a 4th and 3.5. They will go for it. Boncole powers his way across the first down. They needed 4. It's a gain of 5.
I think if you're Tom Kraft and the Tigers here, you basically just try to run this clock down. Run the ball on the floor.
Despite this incredible offense in the lead a lot of games, they are an aggressive offense. 8 4th down tries this year, and they've converted 5 of them. Boncole sweeps to his left and is out of bounds in the MSJC red zone. And that's the new wrinkle for Tom Kraft in this offense. Tom Kraft, head coach of the Tigers, former head coach at San Diego State. The Aztecs, when he was there in 2002, set the all-time program record for passing yards in a season. Incredible coach there. He went to Palomar and now at Riverside and has won 22 conference titles. I mean, just the most accomplished coach maybe all time in California JUCO history. Barton is dumped. The tandem of Andrew Arroyo there for the sack to join number 90, Jai Asuna.
And that's a rare occasion. Barton's back there, and that defensive front got right through the 5 big guys up front for Riverside.
It should be noted RCC still has a pair of timeouts remaining in this first half with about a minute left. We'll see if RCC uses one of them here with about a minute left in the first half. Indeed, they will. The other cool thing about Riverside, the culture is so good. A lot of these coaches return. A lot of these players from, across other high schools come into RCC. Just a great culture.
Yeah, and you think about the coaching tree. I mean, Tom Kraft is one of those coaches that really, really promotes his assistant coaches. They go on to do, had their own programs or they move on up, or man, he just does a great job. And he's, like I said, he's happy with coaches moving on. The one guy he's want to keep close to his hip, though, is Coach Cook, the great defensive coordinator.
Yeah. Now in 14th year as a member of the RCC coaching staff, 10 as a defensive coordinator. And you know Tom Kraft has gotten calls to Division I colleges to be their head coach. So he's really saw something to stay here with the Tigers.
Of course, he enjoys it. He's winning football games, and you know the football community's embraced him.
And that kind of trickles down to the high school too. There's a different level of passion and enthusiasm in the community of Riverside about their hometown Tigers, and so many great high school programs in the city of Riverside. We'll have more of that this coming week. Bryce Strong heads to his right, makes a man miss, gets by one defender, and when he is in open space, he is so dangerous, run out of bounds with 45 seconds left in the half. Jaden Dillon saved the touchdown. A 17-yard run for Strong.
And they move the sticks. Got that first down there.
Well-designed offensive set to close this first half, as they've marched nearly 60 yards already, now up 28-10. It's first down inside of the MSJC red zone again. They'll keep it on the ground with the tailback, and Strong is wrapped up at the 5. We've got a stop on the play with 38 seconds left. Could this be RCC's final timeout? They've got a man leaving the field with his helmet. Bryce Strong, sophomore from Ontario, California.
Because of 54's helmet removal, we will deduct 10 seconds from the committee clock.
That's going to bring the clock down to 25 seconds.
Out of Colony High School, that's Bryce Strong.
They're still trying to... Oh, there it goes.
So Christian Perry was the one who lost his helmet. We'll see what the play call here is late in the first half for RCC. One of the best offenses really in the entire country for junior college football, led by the decision maker Jordan Barton, sophomore from Damien High School in Laverne. They'll go run with Strong, and he dances to about the 3. The Eagles do a great job up front. Tyrone Oloa with the tackle. Clock continues to run for RCC. No timeout called yet. Tigers are going to go well, there is the final timeout by Kraft and Riverside. What's the play call here late in the with maybe 1 or 2 snaps left?
I think if you go for a quick score, you can maybe go with a slant with Espadron, or you just run the power. You have Strong, who's a great back. Those big boys up front got to just give him a gap that he can get through. But San Jacinto's in the second quarter has really shown some toughness.
The Eagles' defense has only given up 29 points per game, which, you know, they've been in every game defensively, but MSJC comes out in the first 17, 18 minutes overwhelmed. They give up all the touchdown drives right away, and then the defense has started to figure out a few things to close the first half. They got the interception and forced a punt on the last drive. And a stop here at the goal line would be massive for them in hopes of turning things around going into the second half. It should be noted MSJC does receive the opening kickoff of the third quarter. A stop here and points to begin the half could completely change the momentum of the game. Barton looks left with a few seconds left in the half, overthrows his receiver with 1 tick left in the second quarter. And you wonder what the play call here is.
Well, I think if you're the San Jacinto head coach, you're mad at your score guy not running that clock out with 1 second.
That's right.
I think that's the one thing I would take away from that play is Oops, yeah, that's where you let your finger go an extra second. That looked like the turf monster might have got him.
Right. Yet again, strikes late in the first half. Modena, the target. Gabe Panikowski, the sophomore from Carmel Valley. About a PAT distance field goal. That is good. We've hit the half, and while RCC early in the second quarter led 28-7, MSJC shows some resolve. Both teams exchange field goals. It's 31-10 at intermission. Here's a look at the Tiger drive. It was a long, methodical one. They used up all the first half clock, and I got to say it was a pretty well-timed, orchestrated drive. They knew they'd love to be the last team to touch the football, and that was exactly what they did.
Yeah, they got some points that, you got to walk away from something like that when you get that close. You can't go empty-handed, especially giving them the ball in the second half.
And they had a few shots at that goal line after this Moncole run to put him inside of the red zone. A penalty pushed him out. Here's Strong to run him back into the red zone. They had a couple of throws to the goal line, yet could not convert, and Gabe Panikowski drilled the field goal. We're at the half from Menifee, not from Riverside. We're back for more in the second half after this. Junior college football continues with RCC up at the break, 31-10.
The City of Riverside Public Works Department provides high-quality trash and recycling services for our customers. Our convenient curbside trash collection services help promote a clean and healthy Riverside. But what do you do when you have items too big or heavy for your can? That's where our bulky item pickup service can help. Before you call for help with your bulky items, be aware that not all items are acceptable for our free curbside service. Furniture, tree trimmings that are properly bundled and no longer than 36 inches, water heaters, and other non-hazardous materials are fine for curbside pickup. Appliances containing Freon such as refrigerators, freezers, and room air conditioners may also be picked up curbside by separate appointment. Unacceptable items include hazardous waste, antifreeze, paints, filters, and tires. We also cannot pick up electronic waste such as computer monitors and televisions, or fluorescent bulbs and household batteries. Construction or demolition materials such as scrap wood, metal, concrete, doors, and drywall are also not accepted. These items may be dropped off in person for no cost at the Agua Mansa transfer station or at one of our Cleanup Riverside events. For more information and the current schedule for these drop-off events, please visit riversideca.gov/cleanupriverside or call 951-826-5311, your one-stop shop for city services. To schedule a bulky item pickup, first call your service provider for an appointment. On the day of your appointment, please make sure that your items are curbside by 5:30 a.m. You may have up to 5 items picked up at each service call. If you have an appliance containing Freon, please call the Appliance Recycling Center of America at 1-800-654-2722 for your free pickup appointment. RPU customers may even qualify for a rebate. Visit riversidepublicutilities.com for information on current residential rebate programs. To find out more about the City of Riverside trash services or our Cleanup Riverside events, visit the Public Works website at riversideca.gov/publicworks.
Live local. Help support your favorite businesses with the Shop Riverside Community Card. With over 200 Riverside businesses giving exclusive discounts and offers to community card holders, there's something for everyone. Participating organizations sell these cards for only $15 each, with $10 going straight back to the organization itself, making the Shop Riverside Community Card a fantastic way to support your favorite local group. For more information about the Shop Riverside Community Card and to find participating businesses, please visit shopriversidenow.com. And don't forget to live local. Shop Riverside.
The City of Riverside Public Works Department provides high-quality trash and recycling services for our customers. Convenient curbside trash collection services promote a clean and healthy Riverside. To help us provide you with top quality service, we ask you to follow a few key rules. When placing your trash containers for pickup, please observe the following. Place each container with at least 3 feet separation from each other and at least 6 feet from obstructions such as parked cars, fire hydrants, mailboxes, and trees. Your bin should be placed at the curb no later than 5:30 a.m. on your collection day with the arrow on the lid pointed toward the street to ensure your bins get emptied. If you are experiencing issues with your trash collection, or perhaps need a replacement for a damaged trash bin, please contact our customer service call center by using the 311 app or website, or by dialing 951-826-5311 to reach one of our customer service representatives. And for more information about trash services, recycling, or bulky items, visit the Public Works website at riversideca.gov/publicworks.
I'm Cheech Marin, and we're inviting you to reserve your spot for the inaugural showing of Cheech Collects. So get your tickets today. We're looking for you.
The City of Riverside Public Works Department provides high-quality trash and recycling services for our customers. Convenient curbside trash collection services promote a clean and healthy Riverside. To help us provide you with top-quality service, we ask you to follow a few key rules. There are 3 different containers for your trash. The blue bin is for recyclables and should only be used for clean recyclable materials such as aluminum cans, cardboard, glass bottles, plastics, and styrofoam. The old brown bin, or new bin with gray lid, is for standard household trash and items not suitable for the other bins, such as animal waste, cactus, palm fronds, soil products, and other waste. The green barrel is for your grass clippings, leaves, weeds, and other plant materials, excluding palm fronds, cactus, and yucca. And please remember not to use any of the containers for heavy construction waste such as concrete. For a complete guide to sorting your trash, please visit riversideca.gov/publicworks.
High school sports are one of the things that make living in California so great.
Athletics builds character, teamwork, physical fitness,
and shows what hard work can achieve.
And some of us can even earn a college scholarship or qualify for the Olympics.
But sometimes the behavior in the stands can overshadow our achievements on the field.
I love it when my parents show up for me.
But being booed for missing a play can be crushing.
Parents who lose their minds when we don't score aren't helping.
It can actually be super distracting.
We should be able to hold our heads high after the match, win or lose.
And remember that refs are people too.
They're trying their best to call a fair and correct game.
Even if you may not love the call.
Seeing and hearing people, belligerently be mean to you, it makes you not want to play anymore. It makes you just want to go sit on the sidelines and cry. It's not fun.
No one should feel insulted or ashamed
because of their race, ethnicity, or gender.
Hey, and enough with all the swearing.
Anger has no place here.
Thank you for being part of the change, and thank you for being there to lift us up.
Live local. Help support your favorite businesses with the Shop Riverside Community Card. With over 200 Riverside businesses giving exclusive discounts and offers to community card holders, there's something for everyone. Participating organizations sell these cards for only $15 each, with $10 going straight back to the organization itself, making the Shop Riverside Community Card a fantastic way to support your favorite local group. For more information about the Shop Riverside Community Card and to find participating businesses, please visit shopriversidenow.com. And don't forget to live local. Shop Riverside.
High school sports are one of the things that make living in California so great.
But sometimes the behavior in the stands can overshadow our achievements on the field.
I love it when my parents show up for me.
But being booed for missing a play can be crushing.
And remember that refs are people too.
They're trying their best to call a fair and correct game.
Hey, and enough with all the swearing.
No one should feel insulted or ashamed
because of their race, ethnicity, or gender.
We should be able to hold our heads high after the match, win or lose.
The Riverside City Clerk's Office's mission is to enhance community trust and promote equitable public services by providing accessible and efficient legislative support, digital services, and city records to residents, city council, city staff, and business partners. We prioritize fiscal responsibility and adapt innovative services to meet the ever-changing needs of the community. We strive to provide residents and businesses with responsive and optimal services. So what does that all mean? Our lean and high-performing team is divided among three important functions: legislative, administrative support, and resident services. Besides working as a partner with every city department, the city clerk's office is responsible for many public-facing duties such as our passport acceptance facility. The passport team averages over 6,000 applications processed annually, making us the most widely used and highest-performing passport facility in the region. As the keepers of the city's legislative historical record, we are the go-to office for public information requests. On average, our office fulfills over 1,600 requests a year with a 3-day average response time, much faster than the 10 days required by state law. Every 10 years after the U.S. Census, the city is required to redraw its ward boundaries to ensure equal representation, and the city clerk's office is an integral part of that effort. In 2022 and 23, we hosted and attended 40 community meetings to gather input from our residents on how we should reshape Riverside. Visit reshaperiverside.com to find out more about this process and to learn about Riverside's new ward boundaries. The city clerk's office is also responsible for municipal elections, as well as the onboarding and swearing in of all newly elected council members and newly appointed board and commission members. Our office processes all applications for new members and provides annual training for the city's legislative bodies. We provide staff and legislative support for 8 of the city's 18 boards and commissions. The city clerk's office also provides agenda processing for city council and committees, as well as the boards and commissions that we support, averaging over 200 agendas processed per year. As the City of Riverside's filing officer, the city clerk is responsible for processing financial disclosure forms for public officials as well as routing contracts for execution. All this work would not be possible without our dedicated team. City clerks truly are the grease that keep the wheels of municipal government turning, and our office is here to support Riverside's residents by ensuring that the decision-making process is transparent to the public, complies with federal, state, and local regulations, and is properly recorded. If you have a public records request, want to know more about the city's legislative history, or have an interest in running for public office, the Riverside City Clerk's team is here for you. To find out more, please visit riversideca.gov/cityclerk.
So today we're standing here in front of the Grandmother's mural. And this is a mural done by an artist named Denise Silva, who is a fantastic artist in our community. And we found this mural when she submitted it for another proposal. And when we, the staff saw it, we said this has to go up somewhere in Riverside.
So I was a little intimidated by the, just setting in a concept, but I thought this is something that I really wanted to do. And actually, I just felt really called to submit it. I had become a grandmother, and the way the universe works, it sent this quote in my direction, and it was, "When the grandmothers from the four directions speak, a new time is coming." So the four directions are represented by the image of the four grandmothers: Tongva, people of the earth; Liseño, people of the west; Cahuilla, people of the desert; and Serrano, people of the pines.
When the four grandmothers get together, the folklore is that it's winds of change. And what we have done is, so that there is representation all throughout the community, is we have a grandmother at 4 different libraries throughout the community. And so they're all 4 different locations, but they come together here at the main library. And this main library was a big change for the community from what we had before to what we are now.
Our elders, and them being, people that have given us love, that have protected us, have given us safe spaces. I would love for the community to feel that, because that was an intention that I really put into the work. I really wanted to give our indigenous people of the area, I wanted to give them some representation. I wanted to honor them. I wanted to uplift them. They're a reflection of my own ancestors. They're a reflection of my mother and my grandmothers. And I just hope that other people, especially indigenous people and people of color, see themselves in the art, and they feel seen and they feel honored.
Was the dedication ceremony for Mulberry Village, 10 transitional living cottages that will be available for those who have recently been homeless, that are either living in a shelter or a halfway home or something along those lines, that are ready for the next step, but maybe not exactly fully ready to be 100% independent yet.
Well, this is one piece and one of a myriad of solutions that we need to address homelessness in our city. So this housing will support some of the most vulnerable people on our streets. We need more of it, and housing at all different levels of support. So we have to start somewhere, and this is a really awesome start.
The city has a dedicated case manager that will be providing the support for the residents here. And then we also partner with Riverside Housing Development Corporation, who will be the property manager. And they will be making sure that the property is well maintained and making sure everybody's adhering to their lease.
We're talking about people that will come in here probably with nothing, and so they have nothing to furnish with. So our agreement with the City Housing Authority is that we would work at furnishing these homes by leveraging Habitat's relationships with some of our local retailers. Habitat for Humanity's model is built around having volunteer work as the labor to keep the costs down for the project. Finally getting to this spot to where we are very close to having these residents move in.
It's just so beautiful. I think this has beautified the neighborhood in a way that we were expecting, but to see it come to life like this, it's just a great day.
Mulberry Village is a really important, I think, demonstration of the types of diverse housing that we need. We need emergency shelter for people who need to get into a bed at night. We need stable housing to help people get in.
Welcome back to a special edition of Riverside TV on the road in Menifee. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham on hand. MSJC, unranked in junior college California football, gave them a scare early in the first quarter, but RCC, led by quarterback Jordan Barton, scored on their first 4 drives of the game. It certainly helped on this muff kickoff late in the first quarter, with the game certainly more in question. They cap off that miss on a 4-play touchdown. A diving Ayin Bankole ran it in. RCC capped off their following drive with that tush push from Jordan Barton for his second of 4 touchdowns. MSJC capitalized late in the first half with this Mason Krause field goal, only to see RCC march all the way downfield, use the rest of the first half clock, and kick a field goal themselves. The Tigers, on the heels of a dramatic win last week, where an unranked Palomar gave them a huge scare up by 13 in the fourth quarter of that game, RCC pulled that one out to avoid a big loss in the preseason. And now RCC up 31-10 tonight has to feel a lot better about this game. But until zeros are on the clock, the Tigers got to stay focused to avoid a loss. Just one loss in junior college football is a big, big deal.
Yeah, and you gotta be, if you're Coach Kraft, you gotta look at your guys and say, look, we played a great first half or a great first quarter of football. You can't let up. You gotta play solid football for all 4 quarters. Even if your stars or starters aren't playing, you have to be able to get better as a team. And the second quarter, I think, went to San Jacinto. I think they outplayed the Tigers.
Yeah, a couple of end zone miscues. Also, the interception from Jordan Barton in that second quarter gave MSJC to crawl back into the game. The Eagles, 0-4 this year, have been in nearly every game, even against some of the best teams in America. And the Eagles did it in that second quarter by defense.
As we get ready here, a beautiful new, what do they call it? The stadium.
The stadium.
They were selling beer out there out front. They had a pizza oven, and then they had beer.
We passed by all of it. We didn't try it out, you know.
Oh, I couldn't have. I would have been asleep. We've been calling so many darn games. I can't drink beer. I could, though, because you know why?
Why is that?
I could walk home.
Oh,
yeah, see,
okay.
It's being safe.
I was going to say, are you over 21?
Well, I brought my 10-speed bike. I rode over here and locked it up. And I know you're thinking, I think Jeff really did. I was driving over in my white pants on my bike.
I was thinking that. I was thinking Jeff Gorham chose in the pouring rain a 5-speed, 10-speed bike. That is. A good job on the return here to the 25-yard line from Matthew Caldera. That is where Mount San Jacinto begins their next drive. The Eagles, with a lowly 15 points per game, have been one of the lowest scoring offenses in California this year. They've had changes at quarterback. It's playing David Clark, Hayden Lara, and Zach Zella. Sophomore Zach Zella played in the first half and is set to take the field here in the second half for MSJC. And while he did guide a touchdown drive to begin the game, he has missed a lot of big throws downfield. He hits 1 or 2 of those, and we have a completely different game. MSJC starts the second half. Zella throws a slant and finds his man. A 9-yard gain off the hash to Koa Apana, the freshman from Lake Elsinore. Those short throws, though, are working for Zach Zella tonight.
Well, that's all he's going to be able to get there, Nick, is because RCC has shown blitz, and it's got to be a quick pass. He doesn't have time to stay in that pocket because it collapses quick with those defensive ends and that massive defensive line kind of crushing that hole.
RCC has done a great job up front. MSJC's running game has been almost non-existent tonight. And on second and short, they'll bring in a couple of runners, but Zella's going to throw it. He looks right all the way, checks it down, and somehow that is complete to the running back. A first down to Makai Skinner. The freshman spins away to the 49-yard line, a gain of 15.
Well, I'll tell you what, defensively, Jawan Nixon should have had that football. He should have jumped the route. He would have been scored here. Watch here. That's one you got. You have to anticipate it. He saw it coming. He just was a little late to the party.
Zach Zella has yet to throw an interception tonight. He's been relatively efficient throwing the football. Hit as he throws. He fires away a jump ball towards Simley, but that's underthrown. Good coverage by Richard Sweeney of Riverside. It looks like one of the Eagles has sustained an injury here. He'll throw his helmet in frustration. Let's check out that play again. The Riverside pressure is there immediately, and there's big number 97, Asia Bogar, again on the pressure.
Yeah, Bogar, I think, is possibly their best defender we've seen in a while here at RCC. He is in every single play, making himself known to either a quarterback or those running backs. He is a monster.
Riverside leads it in the third quarter, 31-10. Eagles in the midst of a tough season. They're 0-4 to begin this year, but these are the reigning back-to-back conference champions, 8 wins and 9 wins respectively going into 2023. It was almost too easy, their transition from a lower conference into a playoff conference, and MSJC is now playing with the big boys. This is the creme of the creme conference rise with half of the teams ranked in California, and MSJC, it's just a tough bill here. They're playing another top 5 program in Riverside.
Let's see here.
Here's a look at the...
Oh, yeah, that knee.
Number 67 led to that incompletion. Andrew Chavez, as they said. Oh, I got another one of those.
Another Chavez?
Yeah, I guess they do.
He doesn't have a golden leg like Chavez.
Certainly hope he will return in a moment, but he's laying out on the stretcher right around the bench right now as they tend to his leg injury. That is a Vela gain of 3. The Tigers, Marcus Jones with the tackle. Zach Zella, not just a efficient passer, but has also shown an ability to beat the defense with his feet. Third down and about 3 yards to go for Mount San Jacinto. The Eagles among the better third down offenses in the state this year at 48%. A design quarterback run from Zella, who dives to the 40. Some play from the quarterback. A 4-yard gain and a Eagles first down.
Coach Cook cannot be happy with his defense. Giving up an easy one there.
Right. Meanwhile, for the Tigers, they knew Jordan Barton was quite the scrambler, but check out the legs of this guy, Zach Zella. A heads-up run from the sophomore out of Temecula Valley High School. Good for another Eagle first down, the second on this drive.
Played for Bert Esposito.
Oh. He pulls in the low snap again and is dumped. Second sack of the night and the 5th of the year for Asea Bogar. Some player he is.
I mean, Bogart knew exactly what the play was. He's a heady football player, smart on the field. Like I said, always getting his hands in on somebody.
Right. There's a look at number 97, Asea Bogar. You know, he's just a couple of years into his college journey in 2023. Just a sensational football player. A great jump off of the ball, and it seems every time, every other snap, he's untouched. An incredible first step off of the line for Bogar. That is a 5-yard loss. Zella looks right, sets up the screen, and RCC was ready for it.
And Bogar was there again. He's the guy that made the quarterback give that ball up, and a big loss on a play, so credit Bogar once again. Watch.
Matthew Caldera, brought down by Jawan Nixon, sophomore out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Another 3-yard loss. The Riverside defense showing some pulse on this drive.
Now watch down here, 57. Watch. He's going to go
on the right side. Yep, there it is.
Look at how fast. I mean, he gets right there, gets right in the face of the quarterback.
Into double coverage. That pass is incomplete. Kavan Baptiste, another North product on the coverage.
He's already had an interception this season, I believe.
Yep, 10 tackles, a pick, and a pass breakup for Baptiste. this year. Well, I'm sure the halftime speech was about some of the miscues Riverside suffered defensively to close the first half. The Tigers put together a strong defensive drive to begin the third quarter. This punt out of bounds at the 10-yard line in front of return man Will Bond of Riverside. The Tigers began the first half with 4 consecutive touchdown drives. Some late miscues kept the game relatively close for the Tigers. We'll see if they can begin the second half the same way they did the first half. Now, Jordan Barton, the Riverside quarterback who came in 5th in California in passing, the headline for him tonight with a couple of first down runs and a touchdown scrambled too has been his scrambling ability tonight. A do-it-all quarterback for the Tigers. Strong on the sweep, gains 2 outside. Eagle linebacker Tyrone Oloa converges at the 12. We brought it up in the first half. Penalties for RCC. Very clean start to the third quarter for them, too.
Like I said, this year they have been a lot more disciplined than we've seen in past great Tiger teams.
Great championship teams.
And I'll tell you, that'll get you places, especially in tight games.
Draw to Strong, who looks for a hole and dances to the 15-yard line where Jay Osuna is in on the stop. A 3-yard gain for Strong. We'll check out that play again. Here's a look at the offensive line moving out to the left, giving Strong a little bit of running room. A good job inside by that MSJC defense. Play fake. Barton is hit as he throws. Over the post, he finds the open Jaquez Modica, and he takes a tumble to the 45-yard line. A 30-yard catch and run for the veteran Modica and a first down.
Barton got rid of that football just in time. As you see the replay, thought he might not have got it off, but what a great play there from the signal caller.
Well, Jordan Barton is in the 3rd year with this program at Riverside out of Damien High School. He is experienced, well coached by Tom Kraft, and he looked ready for that blindside pressure. Barton is hit as he throws again. Strong on a check down, is belted out of bounds by Kalopa on the short gain for the Tigers.
And I'd love to see the Tigers get a little bit bigger lead here so we could get a chance to see Brady Jones of Vista Marietta. He is had a 6'3" backup quarterback who we've seen play against El Camino. Did a pretty darn good job when he made an appearance. Like to see him especially play near his house.
How about that? Barton fakes the handoff, and he's looking deep. Over the post, it's juggled and dropped off the hands of Espadron, who has been pretty quiet by his standards tonight. Norian Espadron came in tied for 5th in the league in catches with 16. Just 1 tonight. That pass just a little behind his intended receiver. That'll bring up 3rd down and 6 yards to go. Barton fakes. He's going his way again. Espadron makes the grab, this time and is 1 defender away from the touchdown.
No, that's not Espadron. That was Ernest McDaniel.
No, that is McDaniel. You're right.
McDaniel, I always thought the same thing. I said, hey, let's go right back at Espadron, but McDaniel
having himself a ball game already with a touchdown tonight. RCC began this drive back at their own 20. Draw to Strong, gets a block outside, and the turf monster gets a Tiger again.
We've seen that a few times tonight. They've slipping around out there. I'm not sure if they have the right cleats on.
You know, MSJC already built a new turf. They can't build another turf.
Oh, but I'm wondering if it's so new that might have a little bit more of those wood beads on there.
Right. Barton jump ball to the end zone, and he missed McDaniel, who had a step on the defense. Greg Jackson on the coverage. He'll leave the game with just over 7 minutes left in the third quarter. MSJC began the third quarter with a long drive that ended in a punt. RCC will try and cap off this drive with points. Off the play fake, Barton takes a shot into the end zone again. Tight coverage out there, but it's caught for a touchdown.
No touchdown, no catch?
No catch. Never scratch that. They had one guy putting his hands up in the air, another one not, incomplete. And RCC will settle for the field goal. It looked like he had plenty of room, but I guess it slipped out of there at the last moment. Gabe Panikowski.
You got to sell it better.
Right. Bradbury the snap. Wallace Dilling the hole. Plenty of distance. My goodness, what a kick. That one sails past the track, and Panikowski hits his second field goal of the game. Let's check out the end zone throw again.
Oh.
Well,
right.
Take my word for it. It looked really good. Yeah. There was the cliffhanger. It looked like a touchdown initially.
I think it was a touchdown. There's his feet. I don't know.
Yep, I think that's what happened. The officials just didn't like how the ball squirted out of there at the end. I don't know. Jake Retzlaff was the All-American quarterback that set records at RCC. You were there for that season opener when the guy threw for about 600 yards in a game.
That's right. It was 588 yards.
Incredible game for him. Jordan Barton fills those huge shoes, and I got to say, he's filled them pretty well. Caldera from the 2-yard line. He heads left and runs into a wall at the 15. Excellent special teams coverage by RCC. And MSJC has a long way to go. 6:48 to play in the third quarter. Riverside jumped out to a 28-7 lead with a few minutes gone by in the second quarter. And it's been largely a defensive battle ever since. Eagles begin their next drive at the 15-yard line. Handoff, Makai Skinner, the freshman from Lake Elsinore, gains a couple. The Tigers' Marcus Jones involved defensively on a pickup of about 2 that time. Riverside, after tonight, they'll have a bye week, and then conference play resumes for them. No bigger matchup than the season finale against number 5 Fullerton. That could be for the conference title and an automatic bid into the playoffs.
And Fullerton College has themselves a new stadium this season.
Mount San Antonio built a new stadium as well. Junior college football is retooling itself for this year. Out of the backfield, Skinner makes a move and is hammered at the 29-yard line. Sweeney cut off his feet, but Skinner, the tailback, leaks out and moves the chains. We haven't seen much of Makai Skinner at all, really, in the game tonight, but he checks in and makes a couple big plays for MSJC. Third play of the drive. Skinner is in the block. Zella under duress. How about a trifecta of sacks for this freshman, Isaiah Bogar? An incredible game for Bogar.
Did you say a trifecta? He is 3?
3.
He is
what a game.
He was great against El Camino.
Let's check out that play again. That time 2 guys were on the block, and he got by both of them.
Well, he got by number 66, and 66 looked like he didn't want any part of him.
Miles Hudson, 2nd and 14. On the rush again. He gets contact with Zella out of the backfield. Here's the tailback And Skinner is near a first down. That was some play out of the backfield. They'll mark him down about a yard short, but it seems RCC's got themselves quite an athlete in Isaiah Bogar. Let's check out his rush again. He nearly was there for another one. I don't know what the RCC sack record is for a single game, but he keeps this up. He might be flirting with it.
It was 17. No.
Well, he might just get that too. They'll go run, and they didn't get there. Leo Tupou, the blitzing linebacker, was the first one in on the pressure. And yes, MSJC is going to bring in the punt team. The last Connor Melzer punt was a beauty. 48 yards pinned to the RCC 1 yard line. We'll see if he can put together another great one here. He gets rid of it cleanly. A wobbling end over end punt. Fair catch muffed at the 37-yard line, but recovered by the Tigers. It kind of worked out for RCC. They gained a couple more yards. Braden Horstman recovers that one.
I just hope I can get out of the third quarter tonight. Considering last night I had to leave after we had to leave after the third quarter.
Right.
If we can get to the fourth quarter, I'd be happy.
Yeah. Well, it was a little chippy earlier in the game, but a well-played football game for RCC otherwise. Really an impressive job. Play fake, Barton throws a comeback pattern, a beautiful throw. He finds Corbin Hale, the freshman. Third grab of the season, that one gains 7. As we check out Hale leaving the game, it's second down and short. Inside run, Ayin Bankole on the draw, and he gets into the secondary, slips a tackle to 25, gets a block at the 20, and he's one away from a house call, a stiff arm at the 10, and he brings him down at the 7-yard line. Ross saved the score. What a run. Put that on the highlight reel of the night for RCC's Ayin Bankole. Check out this one again.
Yeah, Bankole, there's one. There is 2 and 3 that miss him. Great block.
An incredible tackle by Ross. All he needed was the shoestrings. After the big run from Bankole, he's in a block. Barton hit as he throws, fires the comeback. It's underthrown and intercepted. Barton will try and prevent the score. Memorial cuts it back. Slips a tackle at the 40. Crowd on its feet on this great return all the way to the 26-yard line. The red zone miscues from Riverside has kept MSJC in the game. A sensational 65-yard interception return. Number 20, Karsten Memorial, to bring it back.
I think there were 3 defenders here. Yeah, there were 3. He tried to thread the needle and throw it to the outside hand. Just didn't get outside far enough.
RCC scored 28 points in 17 minutes. They've scored 6 points in the next 2 quarters combined. It's just been a sloppy football game for the offense since the first quarter.
Man, these are games you cannot let down. I mean, if you're going to be a good college football team, you got to play pretty even, no matter who you play.
Blackman was the motion man. They'll go run with the quarterback, and he is some athlete. As Zach Zella, the sophomore, is dropped near the first down, they say he's about a half-yard short.
Remember, earlier today, USC nearly gave one away.
Yep. They were up by 28 on Colorado. Under 2 to go in the third. 34-10. Second and short. Inside handoff to Matthew Caldera. He powers his way to about the 15-yard line. That's good enough for an Eagles first down. Aho McAfee with the stop.
But that offensive line for San Jacinto, they're really doing a good job of creating those gaps for those backs. They're getting 4 yards in a cloud of dust nearly every run here.
And considering how good the Tigers have been all year against the run, certainly a strong performance for them on the ground. Caldera's in the block this time. Zella shoots it into the end zone, and it's caught by Christian Kretz, the sophomore, with an MSJC touchdown. Turn on the music.
Look at that. It's like being at a skating party. I don't know if I like that. I mean, it's kind of scary. Yeah, Coach Kraft cannot be happy with the way his Tigers have been playing here since, like you said, putting up 28.
No kick receiver, by the way, past the gate. MSJC late to bring guys on for the extra point in massive momentum swing in this one. Barton and the Tigers were a yard away from a touchdown, which would have given them a massive lead. Instead, the Barton interception leads just 3 plays later. Here's a look at the pick first. Not a horrible throw, but certainly not the best decision with all the guys there. And then this great return from Karsten Mommerl. Nearly a touchdown, but it doesn't matter a few plays later. Zach Zella and the Eagles cap it off with the score. This was the play that began the drive, the 9-yard run to put him into the red zone. This was the first down carry, and then on the following snap, Christian Kretz reels in his first touchdown of the year. Instead of RCC up by 34, they lead the game by 17. That interception was a huge 14-point swing. Kraus the kickoff, end over end towards the numbers, and it is returnable at the 6-yard line. We bring it back to the 20. Xavier Ujori works his way to the 29-yard line. A solid return that time. Tyler Martin with the stop. RCC has kicked 2 field goals in the last 2 quarters of this one. We'll see if the offense can put together points on this drive.
Yeah, it's nice to see Xavier Ugorji, who played his time at Rancho Verde, getting a little spot time here. Looks like he might be a little hurt walking off. Right. The sophomore running back. Yeah, running back as well.
They will bring back in the number 1 guy to join Jordan Barton. That is Bryce Strong in the backfield on 1st and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. Here's Strong off right tackle. And he is wrestled down at the 35-yard line. A 6-yard gain for Strong. RCC loves to run that quick huddle offense. We'll see if they get another play in before the third quarter comes to a close, down to 20 seconds. 2nd and short, about 3 yards to go. The handoff to Boncole, who picks up the first down. The Eagles are having a tough time bringing him down. It's a gain of 14. RCC's 2-headed monster rolling right now.
And Boncole is that, you have thunder and lightning. He is more thunder. The yards after contact there.
RCC has run the ball for about 150 yards tonight. They have the lead, but certainly not comfortable going into the fourth quarter.
No, you can't be happy if you're Coach Kraft. This team has been giving up 29 points per ball game. Riverside only 34. They've been averaging 44.
Right.
And you can't be happy if you're the defensive coach for the Tigers, giving up 17 points when they were averaging only 15.
Yeah, well, do you think some of that is just a lack of focus? You gain the huge lead and you get comfortable, or do you think it's, MSJC, or maybe a little bit of both?
Well, I think it's part of a little bit of complacency by you jump out to such a huge lead. But the thing that Coach Kraft teams is they're mentally tough, and they just didn't seem like they had that sizable lead. They kind of just played lackadaisical. You got to play the entire time. Through minute 1 through minute 60, you have to play the game.
RCC ranked number 2 in the state of California.
And there's
against San Jacinto.
We have a doubleheader Friday night.
All right.
Santiago versus King and Ramona versus Hillcrest. This will be a 7 p.m. game.
That was brought up earlier. Bancole on the draw. Sweeps to his left in his run out of bounds at around the 45. Ramona and Hillcrest, one more than the other, sustained huge league losses yesterday. And now the loser of that one falls to 0-2 in the River Valley.
Yeah, and who would have thought Ramona losing to Patriot at home last night, and Hillcrest taking a loss to a very good Norte Vista team.
Meanwhile, as you see, King High School plays Santiago this coming Friday. We'll have that on Riverside TV. King, currently in Temecula right now against Great Oak, leads 7-0 over the Wolfpack. That game at the half.
Well, I'm a firm believer. I do think Martin Luther King is going to make the playoffs and could win the league.
Really?
I think they are the. Right now, they're the second best team in Riverside, maybe the first best team. I'd love to. A mythical game between Norte Vista and King. Love to see it played like on a Saturday morning pickup football game. But both those teams are. I mean, Ken Batdorf has probably his best offense at Norte Vista he's had in his 30-plus years.
Yeah, that team is loaded.
And I think Jason McMains is doing a great job over at King. They're a mistake-free football team.
Gain of a couple on the inside to the 37 for Bancole, make it the 38. King plays in the Big West lower division with Santiago, Corona, Temecula Valley, and Murrieta Mesa. That's Salamander, right?
No,
Murrieta Valley.
Murrieta Valley, you have Salamander Bachmeyer.
And
you have his brother Tiger and Bear, and their sister Armadillo.
One of the highest-rated recruits at quarterback in America. That guy is something special.
Yeah, but see, they had Hank Bachmeyer. Remember the good, great quarterback? He was at Boise State.
Woof.
And now he transferred somewhere. But, man, what a great family of football players they have at Murrieta Valley. The Nighthawks.
First carry of the game from Devine Pearson, the freshman from Temecula.
Oh, what a great catch. That's going to be about at the 2-yard line.
Oh, some catch. As I tell you, he's now at Louisiana Tech, Hank Bachmeyer.
Wow, good for you. Look how quick you were there. We had Dennis Pope from the Press Enterprise over here. He looked it up and said Louisiana Tech. Now, is he starting at Louisiana Tech? Come on. Oh,
man.
Go to my producers over there. My guys give me some info.
They'll go ground, and he's taken down for a loss. Big hit from the Eagles' Jaden Dillon, as Bancole is denied.
I want to know if Retzlaff played today. I think BYU won in a landslide. He might have got some spot time.
Or our guy's on it right now.
Yeah, that's why we're utilizing the Press Enterprise right now.
Now, those darn guys make me pay for those articles.
Oh, not me. He gives me free ones.
Oh, does he now?
Yes.
Bancole off the fake. Jordan Barton, the quarterback, a 4-yard rushing touchdown. That will certainly help out the Tigers in the fourth quarter. They had gone over 2 quarters without finding the end zone. It really was a rough stretch for them, but the offense gets it done following the turnover.
And that's good for Barton. You got to keep your quarterback happy.
Jordan Barton, 14 passing touchdowns this year, and now 4 rushing touchdowns for the veteran quarterback. The extra point is good with the late flag down on the Panikowski PAT. Before the touchdown, here's a look at the play I missed. The deep ball from Barton on the sideline. Man, that is some catch. Number 4, Demarion Young. He's a home run threat every time he touches the ball, and then the Eagles come in on the rush, and Jordan Barton slips out the back door.
Personal foul. Leaping on the defense. That penalty will assess on the...
What'd they say? A personal foul? What'd they say it was?
Leaping.
Leaping? What do you mean?
You're not allowed to jump anymore in college football?
No, I'm a leaper.
I guess not.
You can't be a leaper in college football. I've never heard that term. Any of you guys ever heard that term? Leaping?
You know, by the way,
No?
I have. All right, the
You
football
have?
nerds got you covered. There was a game in the NFL that was won, Bucks and Colts, by a leaping penalty. Long time ago.
Okay, what is a leaping penalty then?
Is when you're the guys that are rushing the PAT guy, if there's someone who leaps over your own guy to leap to hurdle over the opponent to block a field goal.
Why can't you do that? You should be able to run up the guy's back and get to airtime.
Right.
I think XFL should do that.
You know what they should do if that's going to be a penalty? Maybe you could throw a shoe up there. If you can't leap high enough, throw your towel and block the PAT. And the field goal's good. Great kick from Gabe Panikowski. 11:55 to play in the fourth quarter. This one, RCC leads it 41-17. Zach Zella, the sophomore quarterback, back to the field. Mount San Jacinto spent many years in a non-playoff conference, so they were ineligible. You know, what's interesting about the SCFA, there are 6 different conferences, to my recollection, that play, of course, in Southern California, but only 3 of them are eligible for for a championship. The rest of them just play in bowl games if they are garner the right record. So what's interesting is that for many years, Mount San Jacinto, maybe it was enrollment, maybe it was lack of facilities, I don't know what it is, but they didn't qualify for playoffs. But they just transitioned to a playoff conference a couple of years ago, and
so they have an opportunity.
They have an opportunity now, but they would have to win the conference by this point. They cannot earn a wild card with 4 losses this year. It's been a tough year for them.
You said the last couple of years they've had some pretty good seasons.
8 wins, 8-3, 9-2. They've been right there. So in the SCFA, those 3 playoff conferences, there's either 5 or 6 teams in each conference, and each conference winner makes the playoff, and you only have 1 wild card.
So it's somewhat like relegation in soccer.
Yes.
So you can play yourself into a good league or play yourself out of a good league.
Mm-hmm. Elijah Simbly, the intended target of that deep shot from Zella, and that is incomplete. Credit to the RCC defense for the rush to force the quick throw from Zella. It's a 3-and-out. So I don't know if I confused any of you folks, but with the ones who kept track of that.
No, that made a lot of sense.
It's translation really hard to make it into the playoffs. Basically, there's 18 playoff-eligible teams. Only 4 make it out of the SCFA. That's it. Fair catch signaled and made at the 31-yard line.
You're like a football savant. Because you don't know anything else about anything. But, man, you pulled that one out. That was impressive, Nick Rice. I called you the unfunny Nick Rice yesterday.
Yeah, see, that's the funny thing. It's like
it's not funny.
I wasn't there. I wasn't there at all. And why am I in the conversation? All right.
Well, because you came to the Friday Night Jeff rally, and I
that was
saw
my
you.
cousin. That was my
and I saw you out in the
alter
window.
Ego.
I saw you in the window. I had to mention you. I mean, you drove out to hang out with me.
Right. That's right. And all the great guys that work in the. You can only imagine how fast things are. Back there in the production. Incredible production here on Riverside TV. The Eagles, Pooney Powell, the injured MSJC player.
He's got some Air Jordans on. Maybe that's why he hurt his ankle.
Oh. Air Jordans, great for playing basketball.
Not so good for playing football.
Yes. Great show, though, by the way, the Jeff rally. I mean, Pep was doing his best to, be okay with.
Oh, he'll be back next week. And we do have some students working today. They're working, hanging out and shadowing our production staff.
All right.
Our camera staff. They're from Liberty High School, where the Gorham boys are going to be attending school.
Then out of the Manor and into Heritage. They'll begin with a deep shot, and that is a bit underthrown. Plenty of contact, but it was clean. Incomplete with Karsten Memorial. Great job outside defensively. This is sophomore Jesse Campbell down on the field. And if you want to learn from anybody, learn from the folks at Riverside TV. We have production, award-winning production here in Riverside.
I'm going to say this, the best coverage of high school football in California, hands down.
Whoa.
There aren't many cities that are running, 3 and 4 football games a week. I mean, there's nobody doing it. And we're doing 2 in the same night. We had 4 football games in a span of 3 days.
How about that? Incredible stuff.
Pretty special what Scott Brocious and his staff can do to organize these events. And great camera, great editors, you name it, we have it.
Well, also pretty incredible with Pep Fernandez. I mean, you say I'm a football encyclopedia. No, that's Pep Fernandez. All right.
No, Pep just knows a little bit more about pop culture than you do. If you could know anything about pop culture,
that's not saying much at all. All right, at all.
But no, honestly, we do a great job with you, J.R. Ibarra, Azal Hassan. Kind of, he's got to.
Well, that's debatable.
He's our diva and great play-by-play. Let's see here what.
He's like Chad Johnson out there, always calling for the ball. Same thing with number 3, Jesse Campbell.
Let's see here, and that. Oh yeah, he's that is going to hurt. That's why you saw him holding his head.
Oh boy.
Hopefully he's able to get up on his own and walk here, but.
So for those who missed the incredible action this week on Riverside TV, we had a game on Thursday, Notre Vista Hillcrest, a doubleheader on Friday, along with the pep rally to wrap up not just high school football in Riverside, but also in the Inland Empire, and then tonight's Riverside College football game.
Oh, we had the worst high school football game in history on last night when we had La Sierra versus Arlington. I'm openly telling you.
Just a crazy, crazy game there. We'll be back with more from Menifee right after this.
I'm Cheech Marin, and we're inviting you to reserve your spot for the inaugural showing of Cheech Collects. So get your tickets today. We're looking for you.
The City of Riverside Public Works Department provides high-quality trash and recycling services for our customers. Convenient curbside trash collection services promote a clean and healthy Riverside. To help us provide you with top-quality service, we ask you to follow a few key rules. There are 3 different containers for your trash. The blue bin is for recyclables and should only be used for clean recyclable materials such as aluminum cans, cardboard, glass bottles, plastics, and styrofoam. The old brown bin, or new bin with gray lid, is for standard household trash and items not suitable for the other bins, such as animal waste, cactus, palm fronds, soil products, and other waste. The green barrel is for your grass clippings, leaves, weeds, and other plant materials, excluding palm fronds, cactus, and yucca. And please remember not to use any of the containers for heavy construction waste such as concrete. For a complete guide to sorting your trash, please visit riversideca.gov/publicworks.
All
High school sports are one of the things that make living in California so great.
Athletics builds character, teamwork, physical fitness,
And shows what hard work can achieve. And some of us can even earn a college scholarship or qualify for the Olympics.
But sometimes the behavior in the stands can overshadow our achievements on the field.
I love it when my parents show up for me.
But being booed for missing a play can be crushing.
Parents who lose their minds when we don't score aren't helping.
It can actually be super distracting. We should be able to hold our heads high after the match, win or lose.
And remember that refs are people too.
They're trying their best to call a fair and correct game.
Even if you may not love the call.
Seeing and hearing people, belligerently be mean to you, it makes you not want to play anymore. It makes you just want to go sit on the sidelines and cry. Like, it's not fun.
No one should feel insulted or ashamed
because of their race, ethnicity, or gender.
Hey, and enough with all the swearing.
Anger has no place here.
Thank you for being part of the change, and thank you for being there to lift us up.
Live local. Help support your favorite businesses with the Shop Riverside Community Card. With over 200 Riverside businesses giving exclusive discounts and offers to community card holders, there's something for everyone. Participating organizations sell these cards for only $15 each, with $10 going straight back to the organization itself, making the Shop Riverside Community Card a fantastic way to support your favorite local group. For more information about the Shop Riverside Community Card and to find participating businesses, please visit shopriversidenow.com. And don't forget to live local. Shop Riverside.
Welcome back. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham on hand here on Riverside TV. Here is the last play which led to the Jesse Campbell injury.
Yeah, hopefully he is okay. Looks like his might have been concussed there, and they took him off. Hopefully he'll be back.
Here's a look at that play one more time.
It looks like he hit his head on the turf.
Man, violent hit off his own head. Unfortunate. We're certainly hoping that Jesse Campbell will be okay, but he was pulled off on a stretcher, and they had to carry him from McGarney out there to the stretcher. Short gain here on a 2nd and 15. Devin Pearson with the run.
Yeah, we have. Looks like we have Brady Jones in now for RCC as well. So we get a first look at the young fella from Vista Murrieta.
Before then, an injury on the Eagles. This is Andrew Arroyo who's down.
Well, maybe we won't get out of the fourth quarter.
Oh, man.
2 nights in a row for me.
Yep, there was the MSJC training staff tending to Arroyo. Well, and he's motionless on the field too, but it looks like, nope, he's able to come up at least. My goodness, Jeff Gorham.
Yeah, we've had some stoppage in play here.
Right. Luckily, he's all right. Here's a look at that play. Arroyo, number 44. Just an unfortunate, a lot of bodies in there. Feet tied up. Oh, that was the leg, too. His friendly fire. One of his own guys got his ankle. 3rd down and about 10 yards to go for Riverside. Brady Jones, perfect in completions this year. 1 for 1 with 15 yards. That time, incomplete.
You just jinxed the guy.
Oh, what was that? Espradrone, the intended target.
Why would you say it in midair?
Oh, boy. And now it looks like Riverside's going to punt. And they're not going to go for it on 4th and 10.
No.
They wouldn't do that.
I think everybody now just wants to get out of here without getting hurt.
Right. This is Nathaniel Wallace Dilling for the Tigers. Pulls in the low snap. Sends this one towards the sideline. And that'll bounce out of bounds at around the 38-yard line. MSJC, 9:38 to play. 41-17 Tigers. Mount San Jacinto, Zach Zella, your thoughts on the quarterback's performance tonight?
I think he's done a pretty good job under duress. He's been sacked a few times, to say the least.
Isaiah Bogar with 3 of them.
But, hey, if you can say you put up 17 on Riverside.
Job well done. Solid performance tonight from the man in the slot towards the top of your screen right now, number 7, Elijah Simley. In fact, he's the man in motion. They'll give it to him on a jet sweep. Not a bad idea to get him involved. Knocked down to the 43-yard line. The Tigers' David Medillion with the stop.
I think we're going to see San Jacinto employ the similar tactic, just kind of keep the ball on the ground here and get out of here unscathed.
Right. So for Riverside, when you're a juggernaut program, it's not only important for you to stay focused, to play your best, but when you're the big dogs every year, every other junior college program knows that. So you're getting the absolute best out of every team. They nearly last week lost to Palomar, who I'm sure had their best game. And then here's MSJC, first down run inside from Matthew Caldera. I'd say MSJC, the scoreboard may not show it, but they played a great game today. Just missed a couple of throws and a couple of turnovers, bounce here or there. That could have been a whole different game.
No, and this wasn't RCC's finest game. It started off being great, but we have seen them play 60 minutes of a pretty much mistake-free football against El Camino tonight, though, was a bag of good plays and bad play as well. I'm sure they'll go on the drawing board and watch it later on.
Under pressure, fires downfield again, and it's dropped by Kretz, who scored the touchdown earlier in the half, and he's holding on to his leg right now. Kretz had a touchdown, Jeff Gore.
Yeah, that one was definitely catchable. I think he wants that one back. But one thing San Jacinto can say is they were able to attack that secondary, the deep secondary, and cause some problems. They just didn't connect on some key catches here. And here's another example of that. They go take the top off the football and go right over the top, and wide open receiver. He might have been hit him in a bad spot.
Yeah, sure did. Zella, a jump pass, and he finds the slot receiver who stays on his feet, and Koa Apana picks up the first down. A gain of 18 on an excellent catch and run. And it seems there hasn't been one throw tonight where Zach Zella is not under pressure.
Yeah, not a whole lot of time to throw in the pocket. He hasn't run outside of the pocket very much either tonight. He's
capable of doing that. Tigers bring only a 3-man front this time. Zella with time throws a slant, and that is dropped as well. Mitch Aubrey couldn't hang on.
For the first time this year, it kind of feels chilly. It's like fall.
Yeah, a little
I don't know if I'm
storm
gonna be
came
able to
through
ride,
here.
I'm not going to be able to ride my bike home. I have to call my wife, and I'm going to have her come pick me up.
You could always walk home, you know.
It's too cold.
Too cold.
And I have no legs.
Oh. Temperature in the upper 50s tonight. A lot of the Riverside TV crew that's here dressed up in their snow gear with their snow boots and their gloves and hats. Zella flips it to his left, and that's number 6, Christian Kretz, who makes the catch this time and takes a couple of Tigers with him. Out of bounds at the 8-yard line, Richard Sweeney throws him out.
Yeah, great reception there. After the miss, had to redeem himself.
Yeah. Fine day from Christian Kretz, the sophomore, out of Temecula. MSJC showing some fight late in the ball game. Here's the Kretz catch, a 22-yard pickup for MSJC. A lot of that yak after the catch. Bootleg, Zella looks end zone, hit as he throws, and over the head of everybody that time. Sweeney on the coverage for Riverside.
And Matthew Exridge out of Desert Pines, Las Vegas, in on the hit there.
Nice.
Quarterback had to get rid of that quickly. Watch this. Watch this. He gets right at him. He takes a shot. He's going to feel that tomorrow.
Sure is. Zach Zella. Well, credit to him. Hayden Lara, David Clark have played big football this year for Mount San Jacinto, but they went with Zach Zella tonight, and the quarterback has played a great game. He throws a jump ball towards the pylon, incomplete. No flag down with Elijah Simley, the intended receiver. Now, RCC has played Mount San Jacinto each of the last 2 years. A year ago, the Tigers quarterbacks threw 7 touchdowns, 6 by Jake Retzlaff. This game looks a little bit different, more defense and running game for RCC.
Yeah, we had a whole lot of strong early.
Yeah. And Ian Bancole later. 3rd and goal. Snap to Zell at the 8-yard line. He pumps and lobs it over Kretz. A better throw, and maybe he could score. Certainly could have gotten close. Incomplete. And, you know, over the course of a ball game, those hits start to pile up on a quarterback. We'll see if they can protect him here on a 3rd and goal. 6:34 left in the ball game. Mount San Jacinto, another terrific drive. 4th and goal, rather, at the 8-yard line. Riverside would love nothing more than a goal line stop here to essentially seal a road win. Sweeney the target, or rather the running back. Zella under duress, and the drive ends with an RCC sack. Richard Finan-Ganofo.
Can you say that one more time?
Yeah, we might as well do that. Fine and Ganofo from Ontario, his first sack of the year.
Can you say it 3 times fast?
You know what? Listen here.
That's pretty good. Good job.
All right. Well, appreciate it. All right. You looking forward to that doubleheader this coming Friday, Jeff Gorham?
Always. I love.
You're gonna bike You're gonna bike there too?
Huh? No,
What?
no. I'm not biking there. That's too far.
Oh, yeah.
That's too far from State League Gorham Manor.
Yes. So doubleheader. Make sure to join us on Riverside TV this coming week. Incredible season it's been so far. We've had a lot of great games, but you know, going into tonight, on paper, RCC was the better team, and while it hasn't been pretty, Riverside has made the plays needed to win the game. Brady Jones, freshman quarterback.
But we have had the worst football game in history last night. So if you guys want to all go
and the
back and
worst.
watch that one, I mean, the game ended in the 3rd quarter.
Well, it's so bad it was good, actually, you know.
I did hear, though, that Notre Dame High School had a running clock after 2 touchdowns in the 1st quarter.
What? Now that's crazy. Chase Shackelford brings down the runner.
Yeah, so apparently San Gorgonio, our dear friend Chris Chaddock, sent me a text about 8 o'clock and said that their game was just about over, and it started at 7. What happened is they were playing Notre Dame, and they scored 2 touchdowns in the first 4 minutes of the ball game. Well, after that first 4 minutes, they ran the clock the entire time.
Well, why? You know why they did that?
I think Notre Dame requested it, is what I was told.
Wow.
But, you know, it makes it tough for kids. At least play a half so they can play. But they were done by, I think, 8 o'clock last night. They started at 7.
Jeez.
But
it takes me longer to put on my shoes. They're down to 14 after that run. Riverside trying to salt away the final moments of a road win. RCC is set to win their 5th in a row to begin the year, and going into the bye week, RCC does have some bulletin board material, but overall, as a coach, you'll take 5-0 any day, especially with the incredible upcoming schedule that they have. They'll close the season with 3 consecutive ranked opponents. So that's on their docket to close the year. Number 24, Saddleback. Number 13, San Diego Mesa. Number 5, Fullerton. 3 great football teams RCC plays to close the year. So a bye week will really help as they try and shore up some of the mistakes they had tonight in hopes of another undefeated regular season.
So when is their next home game? We have that game.
Oh, it's 2 weeks from tonight, a noon kickoff against Grossmont.
Grossmont.
And then Riverside, on paper, the better team there. Grossmont is unranked, but receiving votes. But the big one's on November 11th against Fullerton. Fullerton has been the thorn of the side for them for a couple of years. In fact, there's a couple of seasons 5-6 years ago, 2018, 2019, Fullerton was the team that ended Riverside's season. They could have used a running clock in that game, Jeff Gorham. A couple of those, RCC gave up 75. Zella goes deep, and yet another one just a bit off the mark for Elijah Simley.
Now they wanted a flag. I'm not too sure if you're going to get one at this time. But they are. Yeah, it was a wacky world of high school football last night.
Really was.
I don't think I've ever seen a game quite like the inning I had.
Here's a look at that last throw from Zella.
Yeah,
Pretty good coverage out there.
Yeah, that was great coverage.
Sideline to Matthew Caldera, who's hammered out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Matthew Caldera, second on the team in catches this year at running back. A shifty sophomore runner for MSJC. And they showed some things tonight. The Eagles will try and get back on track. They battled the Southwestern Jaguars after their bye 2 weeks from now. Low snap, Zella pulls it in. And that'll bring up 4th down. So the names, Jeff Gorham, of the teams in this conference are the Jaguars, the Griffins.
The Griffins.
The Griffins, the Comets, the Gauchos, and the Hornets, and the Olympians. That's San Diego Mesa. Couple of fun names there.
Are you a Harry Potter guy? Are you a Harry Potter fan?
No. Do I look like Harry Potter with my glasses on?
Well, I just figured you would know. Why am I asking
something.
you? Why would I ask you that?
Why would you ask me that?
I mean, it's only the most popular book series of all time, but no.
I don't know how to read books.
Or watch movies.
Give me Wolf of Wall Street. I'll watch that any day. Zella completes the pass, but Riverside was all over it. Penny Masiva with the stop. What's up with Harry Potter? The Griffins?
A Gryffindor. I mean, what house would you be in? I'm a Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff.
You're more of a. I'm going to say, yeah, you might be a Hufflepuff guy.
Really?
Yeah. Or Ravenclaw. You're Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw. Let's see. Okay.
Oh my gosh! How do you not know?
Ravenclaw. One of the 4 houses of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft. Okay. Now, the thing about this guy is that he is intelligent and learning and wisdom, apparently, some of his traits.
You're wise.
And he's witty. Oh, man.
All right, never mind.
You know, that's
You're not
right.
in
Ravenclaw is exactly who I am.
Yeah.
I'm just, you know, you come in every day on Riverside TV and you don't know what to expect out of this witty, charming. It says funny as well, so that's another trait.
That is not you, man. Sorry. You're not in that house.
Hey, you said it, man.
Yeah, you might
You
be.
said it.
You might be a minor Gryffindor guy.
Hope that's a good thing.
No, what is Slytherin?
Devin Pearson on the call.
The thing is, you know, it's you could be in Slytherin, but you don't have anything like you're not nefarious in any way.
Like not at all, you know, or at least that looks can be deceiving, though. But anyways.
No, you're not nefarious. I'm going to be honest, Nick Rice, I don't find you nefarious or mean or anything. You're just a nice young kid.
Now, nefarious, what does that mean?
Oh, my gosh, really?
Oh, my.
Just stop. All right.
Oh, jeez. Riverside is going to improve to 5-0, Jeff Gorham. That is a nefarious start to the season. And, you know.
I don't know if you call it nefarious.
You know, for the Tigers, you said it. I mean, this team is as good as they've been in a while. The goal is to win out here in the regular season if they want, you know, home games through the playoffs and to put together another championship type of run. Do you feel like this team could do it after 5 weeks?
I do. I think today was not one of their finer moments, but if they played like they did against El Camino, you know, mistake-free football on both sides of the ball, and they were so deep, you had 11 different receivers catch a ball, and then 5 scored. So if you can do that, you can win most of your ball games.
Imagine not having a good game and winning by 24. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. And another win in the notch column for
Tom Kraft. His last win was 150. The guy is a winning machine. Kretz will let that one go, and it's reeled in at the 11-yard line. That'll go down as a 49-yard punt with nothing on the return. Final 111 tonight. Glad you're with us. Another RCC football game going into the bye. Tigers will improve to 5-0, 2-0 the National Southern Conference. Tom Kraft is 151st career win at RCC. He is the only coach in the history of California junior college football with 100 wins at 2 college programs.
That's pretty impressive.
Not bad. Final minute, this one. Zella still in. Throws over the post. That's incomplete. That one just sailed a bit for the quarterback. Mitch Aubrey, the intended target.
I heard the fans wanted a penalty on that, but that was not nefarious.
Oh.
That's nefarious
all right.
means evil. You're not evil. Another
yeah,
great.
you know, Riverside TV doesn't hire nefarious people, do they?
Oh, yeah, Pep Fernandez, he's evil.
Yeah, that guy will key your car when you're not looking. That
my
guy
partner, no one knows this. He's a bad man.
Zella, the quarterback, gains a couple on the ground. Matthew Eskridge with the stop, sophomore out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, what was interesting as we wrap things up here is that RCC, you know, years ago, they'd bring in a lot of guys from other countries. You know, Samoa, Canada, were all represented in Riverside. More of a local team this year, which is an interesting wrinkle for them. But they still went to New Orleans to find a couple of guys, Miami, Pittsburgh, Vegas, Hawaii.
What was the name of that one place you said in Arkansas?
Smackover, Arkansas.
There it is.
There's also a place called St. Louis, California. I didn't know that was a city. Final play of the game. And that is a first down pickup to close things out tonight. Solid day for Jordan Barton as well and the rest of the Tigers. Riverside played about 17 minutes of some incredible football, scoring touchdowns on each of their first 4 drives. Tigers wind up winning the game 41-17 unless this is a touchdown. Kretz makes the catch at the 50. Well, you know, he might just do that. He's outside of the 40 and will put on the brakes at the 36. And that's your final score. Riverside 41, MSJC 17. RCC goes into the bye 5-0, Jeff Gorham.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, they've got to be happy with the win, but, I think they need to work on a few things and kind of get back to where they were a couple weeks ago. Last week, a tough win over Palomar. This week, they didn't play great. They played great in spurts, but still walk away with the win.
Junior college football on Riverside returns in a couple of weeks, home against Grossmont on the 14th. Until then, for Jeff Gorham and the rest of our outstanding crew, that's it from Menifee, California. This was fun to hit the road here to the beautiful stadium at MSJC, where Riverside wins it 41-17. Good night from Riverside TV.